What's up, guys? My name is Ted DarkClaw, and with me, as always, is my amazing co-host, business partner, the Black Knight. And if you don't know, we are the owners of helladopetoys.com, where you can buy the coolest toys literally right now. And the show is hella dope. Aaron, how the hell you doing?
I mean, let's just start with the Viking hat, man. I mean, that is a beautiful piece of work right there. I'm also jelly that I don't have one.
It's very heavy.
I mean, I got a big head though, so it probably would work out.
I'm trying to make it lighter.
Yes. So remember, like, when you think of a gift for me, perfect gift.
Noted.
But I'm good, man. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to the chat and anyone watching out there. It was a blurry camera kind of day, as always here. We had lunch, had a little dinner. Pretty good day. Pretty chill.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I also had a Father's Day where, chilled. Got a Viking hat. Sorry, I got distracted by somebody else there. Did family stuff. Played with some Legos. Chloe and I added to our Lego city, which was very exciting. And I opened some toys, man. I finally got around to opening my Mythic Legions Tibius here, and he is hella dope. You are blurry, dude.
I know.
You are blurry. So we do have guests today, and we're continuing our month theme of doubles, man. We're having two guests each night in June. Sorry, that Viking helmet got me a little off here for a second. So we're going to introduce them in just a moment. Yes. But prior to that, we have some housekeeping update news things for the site. Yes,
we do. Yes.
Some things coming, some things happening today, some things shipping out. Do you want to discuss that?
Yeah, man, we got some goodies coming. Finally, we'll have the developers SDS that is en route to the warehouse. Should have it, my guess, Wednesday, Thursday this week. So if you have not placed your developers SDS reissues, you still have some available. Get those orders in. Also today, as a father's gift from us fathers to all of you, you can save an additional 15% off today only on all those orders. So get those in while you can. Also, AWOC Wave 2 has landed. They are sorting out all the goodies. So those will be landing anytime soon. Zombie Boglins should be landing anytime soon. I mean, we've got some hella dope stuff coming to the hella dope warehouse and ready to ship out to you, my fine hella dopers. I think that's
yes.
Did I miss something?
No, that covers everything. You did a great job, sir. Great job. So, like I said, we have. Sorry, I am like multitasking.
It's good. So am I.
I'm done multitasking now. So we have. We lost one. We have two guests. One just disappeared, but I'm assuming he will be back shortly. They are both YouTubers, toy collectors, and becoming very well known in the community. They run a great show in regards to Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. So if you're looking to get Wave 2 and you're kind of like, I don't know anything about these guys, our guest tonight can help you out with that. And we're going to learn a little bit about that here in just a moment. So I'm going to bring in our guests. One is very excited. We're going to welcome Brick Something.
Hey, I heard there's a dress code, right? That's what's going on over here?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Then we have Adam from Highly Articulated. Gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We are very excited. I got to meet you guys through the Oz stream like a couple months ago, and boy, do you guys stream hard, man. And I guess you
That's
just
all Oz, to be clear.
You're 3 hours behind me, so that makes a lot more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy listening to you guys. I think you're two of the more well-spoken YouTubers on the internet as far as talking about toys and your opinion. You're very specific about what you like, what you want to critique, and then you're like, hey, let's break this thing apart. That sounds fun. So that is awesome. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Aaron, do we need to speak with the chat first, or do we need to do other things?
I mean, we don't want to keep the people waiting on their favorite segment. So let's just get straight to the segment.
Yes.
Mr. DarkClaw, as it is Father's Day, the hella dopers need to know what you sipping on.
Oh, what do I be sipping on aside from the Viking helmet, which I don't think I'm going to do anymore?
I'm sorry,
Come on.
Ted, I'm sorry, but the people have spoken. They want you to bring it back.
That got me a little lightheaded, and I am not trying to wake up tomorrow's situation because what I'm sipping on in the very hefty Hella Dope mug is a classic DarkClaw, some Father's Day vodka mixed with some Diet Pepsi. But don't you worry, I have a very special side piece tonight. Not only is it the classic Miller Lite, but I also have a drinking buddy on there. I have a little Blacknight hanging off of my beer.
Oh, man, how did I get over there?
He's like, open it.
Yeah.
Dude, I did not know you looked this good in a swimsuit, man.
I mean,
let me tell you.
All those chasing the ladies around finally paid off.
Yeah, man, you got buns of steel here. So Mr. Blacknight's going to be hanging out on my beer can tonight. Very excited about that. But I need to know, because it is Father's Day, and I was curious. I was sipping on this vodka here, and I was like, I wonder what Aaron do be sipping on over there.
Well, we had a nice sipping day for Father's Day. Had me a nice gigantic margarita with my steak at Texas Roadhouse today. So also in the Hello Dope mug right here, that's just Red Bull. That's what's
going hard tonight.
Yeah,
went down and came up.
Yeah, I gotta keep it hard for the for the people. But always gotta keep a little something on the side with my Still Reserve spiked strawberry.
Okay.
So a little something. But we have guests.
We do.
And I think the people need to know, gentlemen, what are y'all sipping on?
What y'all sipping on? Oh, yeah, let's ask Adam first. So we're not used to having two people at the same time. We're not good at this yet. Adam, what are you sipping on?
I spent a lot of my day cleaning the garage, and I was drinking ciders out of a can, but I've now switched. I've gone fancy now that I've got you fancy men to partake with. So I've switched to a glass. When that's done, if there's a break, I'll go grab another one, but otherwise I'll probably switch to the Basil Hayden.
Classy man tonight.
Well, it's Father's Day, right? I get to live it up a little bit. I get to
exactly
be a little fancy.
Show the kids all sides of you.
Although to be fair, I when I pulled this off my bar cart, I didn't realize that I've obviously I didn't realize I drank that much of it so far, but I was
just don't have a blue champagne situation like we had, and you'll be fine. It was an entertaining show. That's all I can say.
I certainly. So you mentioned right off the top, Ted, that we've done some pretty long streams. I think I had this on my desk one of those nights.
Yeah, I think you did.
And the longer you go, the more often you're pouring these, and then you kind of wake up and you're like, what happened?
Yep.
How many hours was I on there? Like, what was I thinking?
Come to find out, camera's still rolling.
Yeah.
People are like, bro, we didn't leave. Like, what's up?
Or the camera stopped rolling and I just kept going.
So Brick, what in the world are you sipping on over there?
Boring over here, man. I look cool with a brown bottle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that would be some it's extra uncool. It's sugar-free Reed's ginger beer. That's what that is. So
I mean, right now the one at the top is Alka-Seltzer, man. It's Alka-Seltzer and water.
Yeah, we've had a gentleman come on drinking Alka-Seltzer on the show. That was his what you sipping on segment drink. We don't discriminate here, man. I imagine it was very tasty, and we had a great show.
And happy Father's Day again to everyone.
Yes.
Vikings hat. If you're not going to wear it, then you got to pour your drink into it and drink out of it. It is what it is.
Well, I can switch back over to the the Viking hat
No.
for a little bit here.
I asked for one of those Viking hats. My family refused to buy it for me, and then I thought,
What?
well, I can't really buy it for myself. But
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You're an adult. That's why we have adult money. Buy really cool things.
true, but it's different. Like if I spend the money on that Viking hat, that's one less action figure. So then I got to weigh the pros and cons of that. So that's the constant balancing act that we live in as collectors. Is do I
That's
want
collector
this,
maths, people?
do I want
Collector
this
maths.
item more than I want another AWOC figure? And the answer almost always is no.
That is fair. So before we hit the chat, you are both fathers. Adam, do you want to talk about your Father's Day experience today? Anything exciting for you?
No, not really. I mean, I got up. My kids actually slept over at Grandma and Grandpa's house. So I had to get up with the 1-year-old. Then I went. We went for a bike ride. My dad, my brother, my sister, and I went for a ride, and then we had some lunch, and then I came home, and we've just been kind of bumming around the house. Nothing special, but just a nice laid back, casual Sunday.
That's awesome, man. Well, as long as you're having a nice day, that's all that matters. Brick, what about you, man? How was Father's Day?
Man, it's been Father's Weekend is what it is. And it's like, you are going to do what it is that I want to do. We hit summer. Both my partner and I are educators. And so we're feeling especially free. So we're like, hey, let's go. We went down to San Jose, which is roughly about 40 minutes away. There was actually sun. I live in the Bay Area. So we were out there looking at toys. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to the shop, Time Tunnel Toys. There was a Lego store. We were talking a little bit before we jumped on the stream. It was my first time heading to a Lego store in a while. And I got to just drool over a UCS X-Wing, a Bat Cave, a bunch of new Ninjago stuff. And they've got they've got a bunch of stores that are really geeky and toy oriented. So we did that. And then we did a tech museum thing with them, came back, hung out, played a bunch of video games with my kids. It's a good day. It was a good day. I actually resisted doing the odds thing yesterday because I was like, this is a kid day, a papa day, a family day. And then it's like, and tomorrow I'll be online. So
it sounds like a really good weekend, man.
Yeah, man. It was great.
Very chill.
Today was chill too with them. We went out and, good stuff. And I ate a ton of cronuts. If you don't know,
I don't know.
A maple. Hey, Adam. A maple cronut, not to be confused with a a dosant. Horrible. Donut croissant, basically, is what it is.
Got it.
Flaky, crispy, but with that maple goodness on top. I had about 5 of them this weekend.
Oh man, go for one more. Just make it an even 6. I like even numbers, so you got.
I
one
would,
more
but my kid keeps wanting a piece of it, and they end up with one. So I had my 5.
All right, fair enough. Let's hit the chat up real quick. We got some
chat up.
Some good peoples in here today.
Yeah, no, it was booming before we started, man.
Of course, yeah. Thanos, welcome. Saying hello, everyone. Good to see you, sir. We got Star.
Star, welcome.
Yes. Our one of 2 moderators, Action, aka Axiom.
One of the best moderators in town, by the way.
Is he French?
He could be. We don't judge. Happy Father's Day, everyone. That's dads. If you're not dads, I mean, if you got pets, it's just like kids. Put just as much money into them, if not more.
Yeah.
Maybe you just found out you're a dad today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Stop buying
You just met
Mythic
them.
Legions.
Right, exactly. Jeremy J, what's up, nerds? Miss Simi Sky is the creator of the Hella Dope mug. What is up, doe?
And the daughter to my father. So, wait, that didn't come out right. That's my kid. That's my kid. She's my sister.
Your sister?
I didn't realize there was going to be a test on this stream, but okay.
Yeah, we'll quiz you later and see how drunk he gets later.
No more Viking helmet.
You're one of the only Rumble Toys. Frank, how you doing? Saying, hey everyone, I got you guys on while I'm driving. We'll be safe, man. Happy Father's Day to you. Don't get no accents. We need those cool photos up on Instagram. So,
Oh, that
what
reminds
you sipping
me.
on while you're driving? Oh, never mind.
we gotta share that.
Alka-Seltzer.
We gotta share the picture that Frank sent us. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need to share that tonight. Not important right now, but we need to share that.
Chooch in the house. Happy Father's Day,
Chooch.
Hello, fam. Also, the Canuck.
Oh, the
is in
Canucks
house.
here. That's exciting.
Happy Daddy's Day. Yes. Travis, aka Mr. Wonderful. If you're not on that Hexastack vibe, get on it. He's going to be doing great things with that. With Hexastack, he was on Thursday.
It's been a long week with a lot of shows.
Yes.
He has been on some things. He's going to continue to be on some things. So if you missed any of those, there's replays, and he's on tour, man. He is on tour.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out how do I flash Hex, but no matter what I do, it just doesn't look cool.
How do I get it?
It looks like strange body parts. It's not working.
See, they're gonna be like, Brick was throwing up Illuminati signs.
Hey, that's the post show. Okay, that's when we do all that. Star said he had no idea that you would bring drinks. Yeah, you always bring drinks to a hella dope show.
That's on me. I didn't. Star was on in the chat on my stream earlier, and I didn't mention that this is a BYOB type of show.
Yeah.
So Star, next time you tune
mine.
in, just make sure you have a nice beverage of your choice nearby. That's all we ask.
It's a requirement. Damn it.
And of
I'm
course,
kidding. You're cool, Star.
The future Miss Blacknight is in the chat today. Good evening, hello dope. Happy Father's Day. Thank you.
Does she know that?
Thank you.
I think so. I wrote a note and I put it like on the refrigerator, but I didn't see it this morning. So between the dog and the kids, something happened to it. I don't know. All right, we're good.
Awesome. So, like I said, we got a lot to cover with you guys, man, because I'm used to doing this with just one person, right? It's very easy to just ask one person a question. I'm asking both of you questions. You're both going to have maybe similar answers, maybe extremely different answers. So I'm really looking forward to that dynamic there because, again, while you both do your own thing, you're also a very nice pairing online. I really enjoy
feel like
seeing you both together.
We're very quickly becoming sort of seen as like one unit.
Yes.
Like I see a lot of people comment like, what a Brick and Adam think? And I'm like, we think independently of each other. That's not really how it works. We don't consult each other.
What does the AWOL shill think? AWOL shill think? Oh, that's us. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that is both of us. But, yeah.
So the first question, and you guys can rock, paper, scissors, who answers first, doesn't matter to me. But the first question we always ask after what are you sipping on is what is your origin story? How do you go from nobody to guy on the internet tearing apart toys, making Jeremy and Jason cry?
You want to go first, Brick? You want me to go first?
I can go. So first off, still nobody on the internet. But little Brick was born into a house that was graced with a collection of Star Wars toys. I was born in 1976. My brother's 5 years older than me. He caught the Star Wars bug in 1977 and waited a little bit, eventually got those Kenner toys. So I was born into a house that like just sort of was Star Wars sheets, Star Wars 12-inch dolls, whatever, right? We had a bunch of the stuff. And so from there, as I was growing up, at some point, I don't even remember. It wasn't a decision. It was just sort of like, oh, I guess we're collecting G.I. Joe now, because my brother got a G.I. Joe comic and somehow had convinced my parents, who for whatever reason thought that it was a smart idea to spend money on toys. And so, it's just me and my brother, a ton of toys. And see, now here's my dad.
Look, I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to address these two degenerates here, Brick,
Hold on now.
Adam.
Speaking of fathers, go
Right.
ahead, Dad. What did I do?
Stop voiding your factory warranties on your Animals of the Kingdom figures, right? Read the orange paper. Look, my people, we've reached out to Celine Dion to see if she'll do like an infomercial so that you two will actually pay attention, right? And heed these warnings, okay? But read the orange paper. Read the orange paper.
Wait, there's an orange paper inside my figure?
No, I threw them all away, Aaron.
Yeah, that's
See, therein lies the problem, Aaron. That's exactly what I said. And what
I
are you
got
about
my
to say,
figures
Adam?
directly from Jason, and I did not get an orange paper, so it's really not my fault. It's on Jason. It's
I
not
got
on me.
like 50, so I was just like, I don't need this. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Brick, but
Just because the paper is bright orange doesn't mean that I'm going to read it.
he just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that happens a lot here nowadays.
Yeah.
I know how that works. It happened on my channel too.
Anyway, carry on. Sorry to interrupt.
So, anyways, I was just born into basically a sort of a toy household. I start to realize later that, oh, wait, mom has this doll collection. So I feel like the collecting thing was a thing. My folks moved here from the Philippines, and I don't know. I think in their minds that was just the thing that they were supposed to do. There's other stuff there, but anyway, been collecting figures for the longest time as a kid, and then something happens, where you're kind of like, toys. I'm not supposed to kind of play with toys as much, but I still did. But I stopped buying them, right? And then there was a point where went to college, wasn't buying anything. And that's where this stuff started happening, the whole Lego thing. And I remember being in college, like, because I was drinking uncool, non-alcoholic, relatively cheap beverages, and my friends were out spending money on other stuff.
Yeah, you still have money.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I just cashed that loan check from my student loans. What am I going to do? And so, anyway, yeah, I ended up buying a bunch of this stuff and started getting into it slowly, not so much. By the time I finished, got a job, moved up to the Bay Area from Southern California, started doing graphic design stuff. I was like, oh, I remember that stuff. Oh, wait, what? Lego's making like Star Wars stuff now?
Yeah.
Right? That childhood Star Wars and that interest in Lego kind of came together, and like you end up amassing a bunch of these plastic things that you throw on the wall. But we'll get into like the whole channel thing maybe later. But yeah, I think like a lot of people during the lockdowns, you're getting nostalgic about everything. You're like questioning what's going to happen with life, because it was a trip, right? People were like, what the hell's going on with the world? What am I hearing about folks past, like, not to get too grim on a fun evening, but you start going and like, oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I did this. You start looking at YouTube, you find all these cool YouTube folks talking about all your childhood things, telling you, oh, by the way, Masters of the Universe is coming out with a new toy line. And there's in fact 2 toy lines. So you start spending money. First, it was a classified Destro. I couldn't get the Masterverse figures, so I'll check out that Origin thing, and it just kind of went from there. Eventually, Masterverse came out, and I find myself now with like Masterverse, Mythic Legions, AWOC. Like, it's a healthy disease. I don't know, but that's how that all happens. That's the origin story. Oh, and a criminal killed my parents while on the way home from a movie.
There it is.
And now I want to celebrate heroes with toys.
Awesome. Adam, what you got for us?
Well, since Brick went so long, I'll try to keep mine short.
Yeah, I know how you like that. He likes that when I do that.
No, I was,
To be fair. Oh, my bad.
As a kid, it was Lego, it was G.I. Joe, and then it was sort of like an absolute, smattering of random stuff. Got out of it, as everybody does. I think just because you're doing other stuff, you just didn't have time. I was always sort of paying attention to what was going on, but just wasn't buying anything. I didn't have space for it. You're moving more when you're in your 20s. When I settled down and sort of, started dating my now wife, we moved in together and I had a little bit of space and I started, and then we when she got pregnant with our first child, through no fault of my own, I was in Toys R Us.
Oh.
And so that was sort of my first time in a toy store in a long, long time. And that was absolutely the beginning of the end. So she's entirely responsible for this, whether she likes to take, whether she wants to accept responsibility or not. But yeah, it was Star Wars Lego that got me back in. And then it was Marvel Legends. And then it was everything.
Awesome, man. So what were you guys collecting back then? I know you guys dabbled on this a little bit. What were you collecting back then and what are you collecting now? I think I know a spoiler for what you're collecting right now, but what then, what now? What's the hotness?
Then, like I said, it was Lego and then G.I. Joe, and then there was a bunch of random things. I used to like Lego was how I would build vehicles, right? So before there was Star Wars Lego, I was building X-wings with Lego. Very basic, very rudimentary stuff, especially compared to the stuff that we have now, technique wise, pieces wise, so on and so forth. But I would also build, like little G.I. Joe vehicles and vehicles for whatever line I was playing with on the day. I was lucky enough to have a really great yard for toys. We had, a garden and a sandbox and a lawn and all that, but also a basement that basically I could sort of do what I wanted. So, I could set up, elaborate, I could get all my Joes in sort of a pitched battle. So I just always played with toys, introverted kid, and just have always kind of been happy to just be left to my own devices and just sort of let my imagination run wild. Now I've kind of come back full circle to the same things, right? So I got back into toys because of Lego. Then I got into Marvel Legends, and sort of by extension, then G.I. Joe classified stuff came up, and I was all in, and I still am for the most part. I was going through the list, and there's, they've released like 70 figures, and I think I've passed on like, I think it was 6 of however many figures that they've done. Back to Hiss Tank, back to Dragonfly. So there's so many people talking about G.I. Joe that I don't really talk about it as much as I did, but we'll kind of get into that, I think, a little bit later. But then when AWOC came around, I had I was sort of getting into Mythic Legion, so I was looking at more of the boutique brands, the independent lines. And when AWOC hit, it was new, it was different. I didn't know anything about the IP. I will admit I didn't back the Kickstarter. I only got in at the backer kit, and I only got in when the first comic book got released. So this is one of those things where, I say this and people kind of maybe don't believe me or don't sort of understand, but I got the comic book before I ordered any figures, and I read the first issue of the comic book and I was like, holy shit, I really want to get these figures because the comic book is so good. I can't stress that enough to people, because people that are toy collectors see the toys first and they're like, these are cool toys, monkeys versus cats. And I was like, yeah, but there's so much more. Like, there's just so much cool stuff, and people are like, oh, what, are we gonna get more species? I'm like, you've never read the comic book.
So Adam, I gotta ask you a quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who is your favorite AWOC figure and why is it Thane?
Released or unreleased figure?
Oh, well, there you go.
Your choice.
Well, I can't talk about my favorite.
You just
figure
created
because
it.
he hasn't been revealed yet. But I say this to people all the time. Like, Jason is about to bang a bunch of people over the head. When people are kind of like, the monkeys and the cats don't do it for me. I'm like, Yeah, but you're gonna miss out because you're gonna get in at wave like 6 or 7, and you're gonna be like, ah, dang, now I need to get Thane, now I need to get Pale, now I need to get Vero Atlas, and you're gonna be out of luck, sucker. I've been banging the AWOC drum for
If only
months
there was a
and
toy
months and
store
months,
that you
but
can get it from.
I
don't know.
absolutely.
I love the distillation of the line to monkeys versus cats. Like,
But for a lot of
that's
people,
the
that's
best.
what it
I
is.
know.
I mean, that's how they see it,
It's
though.
just
Yeah.
yeah, totally. What's with the monkeys and the cats? Like,
And the the fact that we're already off on a tangent. The fact that everybody kind of sees the initial offering and like the guns don't make sense. And I'm like, you haven't read the comic book because it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, AWOC has just absolutely sort of captured my imagination. Where Lego is properties that I'm sort of familiar with, and GI Joe, like I've got a long list of characters that I want, but they're characters that I already know. AWOC is different because every time Jason sends me a picture of like hey, we're thinking about doing this species, I'm like, I didn't even think that you could go there or that you would go there. And then I'm like, what if you do it like this? And he's like, that's how we're doing it. And I'm like, no, this is crazy.
Man. So, chat, we see you popping out there. We're going to come back to you here soon. So don't worry, chat. We're coming. Keep chatting away there. But Brick, I know you mentioned Lego as your youth. And, we got AWOCs and Lego in the now. Is there anything sprinkled in between there that you want to go over?
oh man, there's a ton. So like really growing up, there were those main two flagship collections that sort of it was the Star Wars and the GI Joe thing, and then there was occasional flirting with other toys that happened in the house, right? So Motu made its way in. My brother first brought home a He-Man. I think he was out with my aunt who was like didn't realize that we were only supposed to be getting Star Wars and GI Joe, and then it was like, well, why does he get to have that? So then I got a Skeletor soon after. And then, along the way, God, even before then, there was like my uncles who were kind of growing up, aging out of their toys. And all of a sudden they're like, here, we had like Micronauts in the house, which I saw someone mention. And that was like, I think actually the beginning of the bug of the idea of popping and swapping toys. It was like Lego meets action figures for me. That's what Micronauts was. And not to mention just ridiculously cool characters. And then I think the other standout would have been Sectars. Like that was one that totally like captured me as a kid, where I was like, I think my brother was sort of like heading towards middle school and high school. And I was like, okay, like I'm on my own now. Like I get to buy the things that I want. So like, I want to start my own thing. And like Sectars is my thing. And he's like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool if you did that. So got some of those, but that's the kind of stuff that was along the way. And we had Lego as a kid, but again, it wasn't until college where I was like, oh man, I miss those and I want those. And I could go to the Kmart by the university and go grab anyway. So fast forward to now, like the main line that started this was actually Masterverse. And it's like, I thought, I was like, no, I'm cool. I gotta like pause on that, and then, like a week and a half ago, like new stuff keeps just magically showing up here, and but in general, that was the main thing, and I'm not really a completist on anything. I can't be. So it's a smattering of that. Even AWOC, like I try my hardest to like figure out what I'm not gonna get in a wave. But yeah, kind of got all of wave 1, thinking about it. Got pretty much all of wave 2. So we'll see. But then there's Legions. And I'm a little late to that game too. It was like February of 21. Was that 21, Adam? When we were talking the other day, when that in-stock sale, the builders.
No, builders were 22.
So was it just February of 22?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's just, yeah. And so I've gotten way too many in that short time, and might have spent some money on Savage Crucible, might have spent a little bit of money on Armies of Ash more. So, but like some of the other stuff, if you notice the things that I've named, I tend to I like when you say boutique brands. It makes it sound so fancy, a little bit French.
Bougie.
Good job.
Ooh
Good
la
job.
la. A new
Bougie boutique.
Those bougie brand. No, yeah, the sort of indie toy things. I'm just intrigued by that because I grew up with Hasbro and Kenner, kind of like controlling my destiny, and Mattel. Love that stuff. But I'm also really curious about like where things can get pushed. And so when Spiro is like, oh, we're creating this line of anthropomorphic animals, cats and monkeys. I mean, I love that distillation because frankly, it does appeal to me. Like, what, monkeys? Like, what, cat? So, but it was also just the designs, right? I actually downloaded, I ordered and downloaded the comics after already sort of like seeing the toys and being like, oh, someone's creating some cool toys. And at first it was the smaller figures that they were doing. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like that's money I can save. I'm not getting into that. then they announced these really cool looking 6-7 inch figures and I'm like, oh, so anyway, but I love how Adam says, I cannot stress enough how great the comic book is. I'm like, you liar. You stress about every 2 weeks. We're on here for hours talking about how great the comic is. But yeah, yes, you can always do that more. I love AWOC. I'm having fun with them. And it's a super unique IP, I think. And what I love the most about it, and we've said this before, is that it actually reminds me a lot of the things that I grew up with and loved and actually never bought toys for. And I think that's part of why I love AWOC so much. I love Thundercats, never got any toys of them, right? Loved actually Tiger Sharks for what it was, never got toys for them, just wasn't able to. So now it's like, hey, there's these versions. And so I absolutely love them. Read the comic book, sucked in. The art is amazing. I'm a visual person, and I appreciate good visual storytelling, good visual art. If you're not hip to it, like check out this comic book because Adam says this all the time, so I'll take the line today. Like this is not like, oh, by the way, there's a comic that comes with a figure to kind of like help you figure out how to play with a figure. Like, no, this is like a standalone story that existed in Jason's mind for a while. He put it out there as a graphic novel and was like, oh, that thing's still mulling in my brain. Let me rework it and redo it. And so we have what we have, and it's like super well thought out. And it seems like we've talked a lot about this, especially the last 2 episodes. It reminds us a lot of the things that we loved as a kid. Like there's a little bit of, the Matrix in there. Well, not so much as a kid. There's a little bit of Thundercats in there. There's a little bit of Superman and Krypton exploding. There's all these little touchstones, but it's done so in a unique sort of combination that it's just like, God, I love this story. And it feels familiar, but it feels new and exciting. Right. So anyway, and to me, that's like the best of like adult collecting as a toy collector. Like, yeah, I kind of had the simple figures back in the day. I had Motu, no offense to the Origins collectors, but I had Motu at this scale. Give me Motu at this scale with more detail, I think at one point we had little knights, those little knights that just sort of stood there, metal or whatever. And like, now give me my Mythic Legions that are bigger. Like, let's go. So that's what I feel like. Everything about AWOC is stuff that's familiar in a good way, but like done in this beautiful, new, well-sculpted, highly articulated, package. So
I want to reemphasize what I said at the beginning about how both of you speak so well about, the things that you're passionate about. And those are definitely the most intricate answers to both of those questions that we've ever gotten. And
AKA you wordy bastards.
No. No, this is what the people came for. Like, I know you guys are talking, so you probably don't see the chat blowing up there. We're going to unleash the chat here for a minute, because if we don't release that pressure, it will literally explode in there. And we love all the people that are taking time to watch us. And I think there might be some questions for some of you guys, or I don't know, just people shouting random words. I don't know. We're going to see what's popping in the chat real quick.
Unleash the Kraken.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, we're going to do that now.
Sorry,
We're so on point with this show tonight, dude. We're
I know.
killing
I'm doing hella dope
This
work over here.
This is the best version of us. No, I appreciate you over there freaking typing in numbers to a spreadsheet while we're doing the show.
Exactly.
You know what
Is that what's happening? Is there a
Yes.
spreadsheet? You're like, yeah, guys, keep talking. I got spreadsheet stuff.
Exactly. I
While you guys
gotta
are kinda
keep
working
things
out
going.
the back end stuff. Like it's so different. Like this is the thing that people
Isn't
don't
it cool?
people don't appreciate. Like, you know, I'll pop up on anybody's stream that wants to have me because it's so much easier to do this than to do
Right.
what you guys have to do. Because I do that, you know, Brick does that. Like we know, you know, we're in StreamYard clicking the buttons and bringing up the comments and, you know, making sure that the banner looks right and that, you know, your intro song plays at the right time and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And it's a juggling act, and it's like it's harder than it seems, because you do find yourself, you know, getting lost in a comment or lost in a question or whatever, and totally forgetting to click something or to do whatever, right? So it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's not hard, but it's not easy.
No, it is a lot. Like I was struggling there at the beginning of the show because you know, Mr. Jeremy J was popping up here on my show notes saying, hey bro. And I was like, I'm doing an intro, Jeremy. I'm doing an intro. But yeah, no, turning stuff on, turning it back on. That's why there's two of us and we both do our own little piece and we got a nice little system going. And for the most part it works. But when you're live, man, you're live. There's no second take. And
that's part of the beauty of it, right? Is that, like, you know, when you're doing it live, you don't get to fix it. So, you know, every once in a while you screw up and you just got to learn how to roll with it and how to, like, kind of just take it as you go, right? Like, I think I do everything live. I don't edit anything because I'm too lazy and I don't have time. I got 3 young kids, and the idea of coming back to something that I've recorded, I'm like, man, I just put in 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. I don't have another 12 hours to put into it before, you know, next week or whatever. So the best you're probably ever going to get from me is me sort of juggling the buttons of hosting live.
Well, when we first started, I think it was episode 3 or 4, because you got to hit that go live button twice, which is annoying. I mean,
yes.
It's a safety feature. But I hit it one time and we weren't paying attention. So we did a whole intro before I was like, crap, I forgot to hit the button again. And then boom, we were just on. And we were like, hey, it's a really awkward intro. Like episode 3 or 4. Good time, guys. Go check that one out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it
check out that awkward intro.
But I hear about that happening from people that have been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like where people are like, you know, everybody's kind of in the chat like, hey, like, did we miss something? Like, are they late? Is there something wrong? And then like 15 minutes go by and then the video comes on and they're like, well, we went through the whole thing. Like we went through the whole intro and we totally didn't realize. And it was only the comments, you know, we saw the comments and nobody seemed to be reacting to anything we were saying. They were just asking what's going on kind of thing. So yeah, it's just, it's super fun. And I mean, we'll get there. We'll talk more about that stuff.
Real quick, I did a thing called Well Played with Kayla, and we were on, I think, our 3rd episode or whatever. And we started, time came on, and we're like, okay, let's check in with it. I guess there's no one in the chat. Oh, well, let's just keep going with the show. About 13 minutes after, she's like, well, what's going on?
I kept checking
back. Why are people
texting
me?
Else waiting for it to start.
She's like, why are people texting me? I was like, oh, because this guy didn't actually click go live. So we were talking to each other, doing the whole intro for a good 13 minutes or so. And that's totally on my channel where you click in, it's just us rolling. We're like, oh, like, yeah. And we just
but that makes for like good, like future content. Like you can look back on that now. You can laugh about it. Like, then it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I
gotta laugh about it. Gotta laugh about it. Sorry, you were saying.
No, you're good, man. This is like I said.
Yeah, you guys press the buttons. We're gonna play with the toys. So
our show notes are guidelines. Everything else is we just roll with it at this point.
Yeah, we used to just push the live button. Like, what are we talking about there? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just gonna wing it.
I'll figure it out.
I'd make show notes because I can't wing it. Apparently. All right, Aaron. What's in the chat?
Unboxing Art has joined us. How's it going?
Oh, I need that, Brick.
Two great dudes. It must talk about me, obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously. We got Ray Pads. Hi,
Hi,
y'all.
Ray.
It was a good Fig Bash video. Did not know how to do one. I learned. Thanks, Adam.
I must be talking about the sauna video.
It was a different sauna video. He did the I did the hot tub toy machine where it was just a mess and Jeremy J had to jump in and scold me. And actually Adam did a little bit of scolding too. And then Adam did a more scientific, perfect, pristine disassembling of the animal warriors of the kingdom.
Funny thing about that video, I've done 3 of those for like different groups. Like that wasn't, so I'd had practice previous to that. But
yeah, that's right. Different toy lines.
We'll get back to that too. Yeah.
Right. Looking forward to it. We also have Jeff Morris. Good evening.
Welcome, Jeff.
What else we got here? Star once again. So my computer's running super slow today.
Always.
Micronauts was the first toy line to give me that proverbial beatdown.
It's a great line. Hoping that magically somehow comes back, but it's a great line.
I mean, like, Nacelle's been doing some things. I think if anybody who may do it, I think it's them. Because they're bringing, Biker
it's in
Mice
Wright's
from
hell,
Mars.
but yeah, hopefully.
I mean, if you're not creating anything, eventually your rights go to nothing. So, what's a name when you're not putting out anything for it?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. You never know what's going to happen. Thanos once again. Now I want to see Adam build AWOC Lego vehicles.
I
love that idea when you were saying you were making Lego vehicles for your character.
You know what? Okay, so I'll say this, Thanos. When the classified line got announced, I immediately started mapping out a Lego Vamp. As it turns out, it's not worth the time or the effort because at that scale, it looks terrible. Minifigure scale and even like 4-inch scale, you can kind of get away with things. But as soon as you get into a bigger scale, like if you look at the Technics vehicles, like the Lego line, Lego does a line called Technics, which is like larger scale. Like a lot of them are almost kind of a 6-inch scale.
Yep.
But there's gaps and the parts look weird and they look kind of mechanical. And if you're aiming for anything that looks similar to what you're used to from an action figure vehicle, it didn't look right. And so I got kind of 2/3 of the way through my my Vamp before they revealed like the coil motorcycle, and I was like, oh, they're doing vehicles? Forget this. I'm out. I took it apart. I think I still have a bin of parts that I was going to use for that, and but it's never going to happen. And AWOC, but I will say about AWOC is so kind of organic in nature. There's so much, read the comic books. Depending on sort of which tribe or which house you're looking at, so many of them are much more organic and sort of natural in feel that it would be really hard to do some of those in a Lego vehicle. You could do horde vehicles. You could do the mechs for sure. And I would be lying if I said that it hadn't crossed my mind. But that kind of stuff takes so much time, and I just don't have the time to do it. It's way harder to kind of design something like that than to just build it. You get a Lego set, you can bang it out in a couple of hours, but to actually sit down and like try to design a Lego set effectively takes so much time, because you want to get the parts to move right too, especially if you're building a vehicle for an action figure line. And so you want to have, the joints, and if it's got wings, you want to have them look right, and you want to get the angles, and you got to get, the dimensions right. If you build a quick Lego vehicle, it's flat. It's totally flat. It's like it's 2-dimensional, because it gets very hard to kind of take that third dimension into account when you're sort of trying to kind of get something out of your brain, because you're kind of thinking about an image, right? You're thinking about a 2D image. I think it's really hard to build that out in all the dimensions you need to.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading some of these other comments that are coming in. There's some good ones. But yeah, good. Moving, we got Star asking, love hearing these stories. Good to know that we're not alone. I think this goes back to we were having our origin story talk. So a little more in depth into the backstory of our guests. People enjoy them. Star also saying that independent properties is all he's going for. Cosmic Legions, AWOC. I mean, everyone knows about Mythic Legions. I mean, I think once Wave 1 of Cosmic lands, I think that's when the hurt will begin. Like, you thought you were sleeping on it for a minute. Now you're about to see exactly why they went down this road.
Not only is it coming, it's like right around the corner, but then they're just gonna, because with Mythic Legions you're getting like quarterly drops. Now they're just gonna double it up on you, just boom, boom, boom all the time. So it's gonna be brutal 2024.
I was gonna say, and it's a great time to be thinking that way. I think, Star, because like the sort of cool indie toy lines and toys, because there's some stuff that just comes out random that's not even like a line. It's just no matter where you go, just I feel like every couple of days there's some new thing. Not like, oh, there's a new figure in a line. There's like, oh, there's a Veteran William repaint that's all white. Oh, here's a boar. Like, here's some Warcraft, not Warcraft, but Warcraft, orcs. Here's some new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that aren't really Ninja Turtles, but
the Ninja Turtle mechs are blowing my mind. So, I can't wait to get those in hand.
That's where I'm at in my brain. Is just like, I'm kind of curious to check out like what's out there. Like, this is one of those things where it's like, what in the world is this? It's cool is what it is. And like, so it's a good time to do that. And that what you just said, Ted, like scares me.
That's common,
because that's even if I was just like, no, I'm only doing Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions, like
that's
just the past couple weeks.
That's behind the curtain news right there. They are dropping them like crazy over the next, like almost every quarter. You will see something starting this fall.
Well,
let me say this last piece. Sorry, Ted, but just
no, you're good.
If it's going to be 4 Horsemen announcing Cosmic Legions or Mythic Legions or Figure Obscura, here's the deal with these things. I know every single one is going to be good. Like that's the I mean like crazy quality good. Yeah. And that's where it gets really hard to be like, wait, I need to make choices. So
and there are going to be some hard ones to make.
You guys were talking earlier that Jason's ramping up, right? So it's not just 4 Horsemen now having 2 lines. It's Jason getting out more stuff, and then you got Bobby and Valaverse. He's getting out more stuff faster. Like Savage Crucible. I mean, it'll probably take them 2 years, but then 2-3 years from now they're gonna be on the same boat. Like, it is awesome, but man, the fear of getting hoarded up real quick. Like, you're getting box after box after box.
One other thing that I'll say, in like my sort of absolute admiration for Jason is that he's also a collector. He's one of us in the sense that he doesn't have this unlimited bank account in this unlimited amount of space. So the fact that he's even sort of been conscientious of the fact that like you can't just drop 20 figures every 3 months. People can't afford it. People don't have space for it. People won't appreciate all the figures either if you do it. So he's looking at 4 figure waves 4 times a year. You're looking at like for you guys, down south, price wise, that sort of $35 or $50, depending on the size of the figure, whatever it is. You're really only looking at like $600 a year for this line. So when you kind of look at it, and this is how my sort of analytical brain works, I look at lines in terms of like, okay, what can I budget, annually, and what do I expect that they're actually going to do? I can't buy everything from Mythic Legions. I've just completely, to this point at least, not gone in on Cosmic. But AWOC, I'm looking at the scheduling and I'm like, I can afford this. Like I'm good to go for this line because it's 4 figure waves. It's not going to be 12 figures that I need to buy. When it's an army builder, you know, if I need to get a couple, I'm not going to be like swamped and have to like pick and choose. It's like, okay, I can still get two, and you know, maybe I'll pick a third one up at some point too. It's just there's certain lines that I think are just overwhelming fans. I think I've said this before that, like, you know, it's kind of the golden age of collecting in terms of what's available, but it's also overwhelming. It's also like to the point where you can't, you know, my collecting you know, motto is I can't buy all the things. So I have to objectively look at, you know, what will bring me the most joy. What will, shout out to Payne's Toy Samples, what will bring me the most joy? You know, what am I going to play with the most? What in my collection comes off the shelf more regularly? What, you know, gets posed once and gets left? What do my kids want to pull off the shelf? Right? Like, that's a big part of it for me too. Like I said, with 3 young kids.
Oh yeah, those kids.
Hey, you let your kids pull stuff?
What are they interested in? Right? Like, what are they going to want to play with? Like, what is going to, you know, bring them joy? And so I kind of have to look at all those things. And there's a lot of these really great lines that just don't make the cut, because not because they're not awesome figures, not because I don't want them, but just because it just doesn't make sense. So somebody in the comments was like, you know, there's just too much stuff. The reality is you shouldn't be expecting to get everything, right? You just have to sort of decide what works best for you and then kind of make it sustainable, right? That's the other thing. You don't want to get burnt out because like you're broke and your credit cards are all maxed out and you can't pay, you know, your rent or your mortgage, and you're eating. You know, everybody jokes about like, I'll be on ramen for a month or whatever. I happen to really love ramen, so that wouldn't be the worst case scenario. But my kids, even though they love ramen, might get sick of it. So
tell them to wait to get to college. That's all they're going to eat.
Yeah, get used to it.
I'm training you now, so you prepare later. But to touch up on what you were saying there, you know, we did one of our local conventions here, real small, it's just a day. And a lot of the issues were because we had the wave 1 AWOCs in hand. Like I paid the premium to make sure I had them. And the biggest thing that we got from it was we like them, but I just don't have room in my collection right now. You know, and I think that's kind of where, you know, this is the world we're going to live in right now, with all these new independent creators are coming out with all the stuff they're doing right now. And don't get me wrong, I love them. I said that is kind of where we kind of said this is what we're going to support. I mean, yes, we have you know, some Mattel stuff, we have Hasbro, we have that because we have to have it. But we wanted to make sure that we were part of the independent, you know, community ourselves with what they're doing. But how do you, one, as like ourselves, try to tell you as a collector, like, look, it's a really cool figure, you're gonna miss out if you don't get it, when you don't have the room or you don't know enough about it. And that's a big thing. Like I say, what you know, I know you guys do. Y'all have like your talks about AWOCs and all that. I mean, it really helps some of those who are on the fence about, you know, hey, do I want to get this? And you're converting those, like, oh my God, you know, I was watching this show, it's amazing, and now I'm invested now. I have to get the comic book. I got to get the comic book now, so I have to read it.
It's I mean, you know, full disclosure, the conversations that Brick and I had before we decided to collaborate and do the show was basically that, like, what can we do to sort of let people know what this line is, because we would hear the discussions, we would see the comments where people are, you know, where it's like, oh, monkeys and cats, that's cool, but it wasn't that, you know, like that's the first step. And I think, you know, Armies of Ashmore, I think, is another line that's going to have this thing where Armies of Ashmore is you know, the first step into a fully realized universe, basically, right? Like, it's the Defenders of Eden. The dinosaurs were the quickest entry point for Matt to sort of get, you know, figures in hand and get people interested in the toys, and maybe sort of by extension get into the comic book. But he has so many more toys that he wants to make, and it's just, you got to start somewhere, and you got to start with shared bucks, because that's just economically the best way to do it. And you just hope that you can get enough of a sort of hold in the market that there's enough demand to sort of get you to the point where you can sort of reveal the next buck and the next species and the next thing. And for all the people that are on the fence, you just hope that the next thing is the thing that makes them go, now I need this. Now this is a line that, you know, I will make room for in my collection.
But then you have that the reverse though, because now you're like, oh man, this is the way that sold me, but now I missed out on the intro wave.
Mhm.
So like now you're sitting there like on eBay, Mercari, all these like marketplaces playing like, you know, the flipper price.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, that's how I started this whole thing. But you know, it sucks because, you know, if you're not in on the ground level, now you like Ted was saying earlier, now you're sitting in that FOMO.
Yeah.
Like you had an opportunity, you could have done it, you chose not to because you were comfortable in
Yeah.
your little world of, you know, G.I. Joe or Transformers or whatever it is. You know, to take that little leap of faith to, you know, support something that you now enjoy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, like we have the things that we love, and I'm not gonna lie. You know, I think folks should enjoy that world, whatever it is that they are. I think really what it's about is just making sure that that AWOC at least has sort of like I don't know, has a place in the conversation so that people are aware, and rather than just sort of being, whether it's like dismissive, like, oh yeah, cats and monkeys or whatever. Like, what I mean by dismissive is that sometimes people are like, oh, that's just a ripoff of this. And it's like,
Yeah.
it
The
really
Planet of
is
the Apes
not.
line.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, in as much as what G.I. Joe is a ripoff of like army characters, like, no, it's not. It's like, but so that's the kind of stuff like, I'd love to be able to cut through that noise. But also just like, I think there are always people who are looking for something new, something interesting. When I go back to my childhood, it's like, I didn't go, oh, there's this like Thundercats show that they saw a commercial for, but F that, I'm watching G.I. Joe because I like G.I. No, I was just like, cool, feed me. Bionic 6, feed me. Whatever, Sectars, feed me. Motu, feed, like, let me just take it. And of course, like watching a show is different from, say, paying whatever, $20, $30 for a figure. But just creating that space, because at the end of the day, like we're toy collectors. Like we love this stuff. Like I collect this stuff because I love toys.
Yeah.
And so part of me is sort of like a way past 40-year-old person who loved that stuff as a kid. Like now I'm kind of like, wow, I'm intrigued by the idea of just someone going, I have this idea. I'm going to make a toy. I'm going to design it. I'm going to work with other creatives to do it. Like I'm going to create a story. I'm going to work with a factory and figure that out. I'm going to start selling it on the internet. Like to me, that part of it's also fascinating. So like whatever I can do to be like, to support it, if I'm, so, you know, feeling so called, then I'll do that and just kind of highlight all of that. Because I do think there are a lot more toy fans out there that might be sort of reactivated. And I will say when it comes to AWOC, for me, it's like young people, kids, right? Young collectors need to know about this because I think this is very much like a very young person oriented and it's like compatible line. Like these things are rough and tumble compared to some of the other things I collect. And I think there's a story there that's worth young folks knowing, right? Like I learned a lot as a young person making sense of this crazy world from sci-fi, other genre stuff, right? Like I was like a mutant before I realized the X-Men existed, right? Like, so I was fighting the good fight before I realized I have the power. So there's some real cool story elements about, you know, the typical genre stuff about like figuring out who you are in the world, figuring out your relationship to other people, what matters. And I think this pretty much like embraces that tradition in a way that like, yeah, I'm kind of getting behind it because I think it's real good. Right. So I don't know. Yeah, again, I just didn't want to like take away from the things people love, but like you can love a lot of things. Oh, yeah. And I think, and if you don't love a lot of things, that's fine, but you can kind of just watch and admire and notice and appreciate a lot of other things. And I guess the last thing on that point, like before there was a Mythic Legions like cabal and this crazy huge fan base, right? Like those people came from somewhere.
Right.
I'm sure some of them were collecting G.I. Joe and Star Wars and Master of the Universe classics.
Mm-hmm.
And yet somehow they found some space in their life for Mythic Legions.
It was the Nightline for
A lot
me.
of space.
I'm missing maybe 6 now of the Knights from Mythic Legions, and like
Love that people have their different thing.
I want to go back and find them, but then I'm afraid to do it because some of those are like the early like series, and I know if I find it, I'm going to pay a premium price for it, and I don't want to do it.
And then they'll drop it in an all-star line, and you'll be very salty. Yeah. Yeah. No, I just wait. Look, one thing I'm learning after doing this for so many years is eventually they'll re-release everything.
Or
is how much patience
they'll create
you have.
new versions of things that are like better than the originals. So, or any new characters that come up with are often even better. So there's ways to do it.
And that's the thing. I don't, apart from vintage toys where it's like I want a vintage version of whatever, right? Which, in all honesty, I've almost completely moved away from. But I'm at the point with my collection where like I just won't chase an older figure. If I can't get it at retail, I'm just not going to get it. And part of that is, you develop, friendships, and you network with people, and, you get a couple, retailers that you like, that you sort of got a good vibe with, and so on and so forth. And I don't miss any releases anymore. You know what I mean? Like if there's something that's, a con exclusive, I probably know somebody that's going to that con. Maybe they can pick it up for me. If it's an online exclusive, it's, whatever event exclusive, whatever it is, right? Like there's always somebody that can help out if you're nice. And if if people like you, you'll be able to find these. When I hear people complaining about like, I can't get these figures. And I'm like, why not? Are you, do you not have any friends? Like what have you done wrong to not be able to get these figures? Because they're out there, right? They're in the market. Mm-hmm. But as a Canadian too, like I'm paying a premium on most things anyway,
right?
Because if it's not Hasbro or Mattel, it's coming from it's very often coming from another country. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky enough to have Mikey Collectibles. Forgive me, another online retailer, but a Canadian retailer. So there is some, there's duties and fees and import stuff that doesn't always work out. Not every retailer carries every product either, right? So I'm lucky to have him, and he and I are good friends as well. So I'm like, hey, you should carry this, and he's like, okay, I will. And conversely, he's like, should I carry this? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, I am anyway. I already ordered it. So
we know that conversation on both ends. Like, hey, you guys should get this, and we're like, okay, and then we're like, hey, should we buy this?
Well, you probably have this conversation too, where people are like, you know what line you should get? This super obscure one that no one's ever heard about but me, and you're like,
right?
We'll put out feelers, but no promises, and it's just like, a line that gets figures announced and like maybe figures never even materialize, right? Mm-hmm. So it's always a risk, but I mean this whole thing, right? What I've learned, I guess we can wrap up the video after I make this comment. What I've learned about collecting is that it's really, the toys are one aspect of it, but the culture and the people are really what make it fun or not fun. And for me, I've been lucky enough, like Brick sort of mentioned, like the YouTube channels and the people that I've met through doing the videos and through, Facebook groups and so on and so forth. The people take up way more time than the actual toys, like, because I've developed these friendships and these connections. I'm like, hey, are you going to be at this thing? Can you grab it? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then we talk for an hour about a bunch of random stuff. Right. So it's weird, man. Like I'm a very introverted person. So, Facebook Messenger and like texting and stuff like that works perfectly for me because it's not, there's no small talk. You don't sort of get to that point where you're physically in the same room and you're going to be there for a while longer. So you got to come up with something to say. I don't have that problem when it's, one message every couple minutes. But yeah, it's about having fun. It's about, having a good time and not stressing about the toys. And again, going back to budgets, right? Like not thinking like, how am I going to afford this? It's like, if you can't afford it, just don't buy it.
Right.
Sad but true.
What was the question?
Yeah, I don't know where we went. We're still in our chat break.
Yeah, exactly.
I started like 10 more things for Aaron to go through. Well, we're gonna.
There's other people hanging out with us today.
No,
Sorry,
this is good though. There's a flowing conversation here, man. I'm never gonna complain about that. Y'all are our guests. We came to listen to you talk. The chat is here to listen to you talk. Yeah, we just want to let them. I don't want them to think we're ignoring them. We love our chat. So
yes, we love our chat.
And I'm trying to read it too, like as it's coming.
Oh yeah, no, they'll boom it.
Oh yeah. Jim Largo is here. Jim, how you doing? He's sorry he's late. Chad ran a little long. It's all good. You're here now.
Chad had an epic show tonight. Like he had Sergeant Slaughter's daughter on. All the people from Joe Fest, they were doing a big Joe Fest recap. I think like he had like 7-8 people in there, so I figured he would run long, but I think I saw him pop in here and say hey, but I was watching the beginning of it because it's cool hearing everybody's Joe Fest stories. But Largo, thanks for joining us. Chad, I know you're out there somewhere still. Also, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thanos, once again, I want AWOC to blow up. It has the potential to be a powerful, long-lasting multimedia franchise.
Yeah.
That says it best right there, And the only way you make that happen is by your support. And by support, I don't necessarily mean financially either. Share the post, like the post.
Absolutely.
Word of mouth goes a long way than the dollar. And the dollar can go a long way too, but you telling a friend who tells a friend who tells a friend, that's what we want.
Yeah, and I know we're trying to get through this, Chad, but that's the point. That's the other reason. It's like I love this property. This is a property that even if I didn't have toys, just like I get excited at checking out, I don't care what people say, the next Marvel, movie or whatever it is, right? I want to see this in the future. I want to see this stuff on the big screen. I want to be able to have that. So I want this property to become kind of to elevate and be in the consciousness. Absolutely. Anyway, look at that. We need tigers with guns.
Man.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Tigers with guns.
Jeremy J, once again, he's saying 90% of his collecting dollars going straight to the indies now. I mean, we're right there with you, man. That's our support.
It's most of what we sell now.
Yeah. We got Lewis in the chat. I think this is going back when we were talking about building an AWOC vehicle. He said, why don't you make them with Duplo? Oh, nice.
Duplo.
I've done that too. I've done that too. I got small kids. I still got Duplo.
For those who don't know, Duplo is the Lego for preschoolers.
I'm going to throw this up. I believe the head is for Jeremy here. I guess I can make it full screen. I guess I can do that.
It's not that important.
Look, I hate doing full screen because that stupid remove from stream button has to be right above it. And I'm always afraid I'm just going to be like, oh, I'll blow you up. And then I just kick somebody out. But all right.
I'm done showing it. I'm not sure. He got it. He got to see it.
He got his fix. All right, Aaron, what's next?
Okay, sorry, I froze up here for a second.
I know. I got you lost. I'm sorry.
That's cool. No, I don't want to answer this question because it was asked now 3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
I want that figure too.
September.
He's right here. He looks a little different than what they solicited, but
that's the alternate version. Yes. September is the date. I do not control, unfortunately, what happens. Just like the Ryu, whoever you are, and however you want to say it in the Fei Long. I am at the disposal of my distributor, so he tells me September. If it's in September, great. If it's sooner, better. But right now, I'm telling you September.
The cheesy dust on the fingers.
Yeah, that's a hot seller right there.
Come on.
And what's great is
it's fantastic.
I mean, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, with now Street Fighter Now they're doing like, I guess you could say, ad icons. Now they're coming out with Mega Man.
Those
This
look
is
really
this is
good,
going
too.
to be a very interesting 2024 for Jada Toys if this is the road they're going to go down.
Yep.
And I am all for it right now.
And all I have to say is, Jada Toys, we wanted to be friends. Why can't we be friends, Jada Toys? Man.
We can be lovers and friends.
Why can't
Oh,
we be
man.
friends? Hey, that's a theme in the chat. You keep going.
Moving forward, who we got? Sorry. Star once again. I think the lore plays a huge part in the entrance of these lines. With the established franchises, we've seen the lore and know where it goes.
Yeah.
There's very little that's new or unpredictable anymore. It's very true. But
we still want it, you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Part, like I said, you know, the nostalgia plays a big part. It's just with a lot of the nostalgia, I've kind of, and I think it's largely because of how much I've sort of grown to appreciate and love AWOC. I'm kind of looking at that nostalgic component with sort of less emphasis. Because like Brick was saying, you know, when we were kids, we weren't like, oh no, I'm good. I got this one IP and I'm not paying attention to the other ones. I'm kind of open to the idea of what AWOC can be. And I'm open to the idea that AWOC can be the IP that you know, is my favorite IP. I'm maybe in the minority, or certainly in the vocal minority, that maybe doesn't have as strong an opinion of like what something needs to be going forward. I'm open to new interpretations of the things that I love, right? Like I was having a conversation the other day about G.I. Joe and talking about how I think Renegades was really, really good. Resolute was fantastic, even though it was a bit of a departure from what we were used to. You know, when Devil's Due had the comic, and Image had the comic before, and you know, all these different people that had sort of different takes on G.I. Joe. Actually, IDW did Paul Aller's G.I. Joe World on Fire, which only made, you know, 10 issues. But it was absolutely awesome, and it was different, and not everybody kind of bought into it for that very reason. But I love that stuff. Like I want new, I want different, I want something that's refreshing. I don't necessarily want the same thing rehashed, repackaged. You know, I have the vintage Joes, so when there's sort of the call for like the classified figures to be 6-inch scaled up versions of the vintage ones, that doesn't interest me as much. I want, you know, the Joe Pro communication device. I like the Nerf guns because they're different, you know. I want there to be sort of some evolution there. I don't want the figures to just look like they're from the 70s inspired kind of early 80s era. You know, bring on the 90s figures, because I think you could do some really fun stuff and make those 90s figures that people kind of turn their nose up at a little bit. You could kind of adapt them a little bit to really fit, you know, in the sort of current climate as far as, you know, design ideas. But
Rick, I'm sorry. Like I'm being amused by the multiple like facial expressions that you're giving me right now.
It's just, it happens all the time when I have this as my background, where like I'll just be looking and I'll look up and realize, oh, I've got big ears all of a sudden.
But yeah, no, yes, what you're saying is correct. But listen, the thing with the 90s though, and especially in the conversation of like repackaging, rehashing, redesigning, is it really for us? Because what I want to get to, and I think you're sort of agreeing, is we touched on this earlier. A lot of us adults now have kids, and the kids need to understand, you know, it may not, I'm not saying they have to love what we loved. And some of them do. Like my son loves Spider-Man. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I will take that to the grave with me.
He's timeless. I mean, that's a timeless character.
You know, like we went and saw Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That movie, well done.
I took my daughter. She loved it.
Yeah, like he's sitting there on the edge of his seat like, oh my God, Dad. Like, I know we saw the first one, but like this is nothing in comparison. And then, I'm not going to set any spoilers if for anyone who hasn't seen it, but we get to like the end and we're like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do this to me? Like, I have to, no.
Again, no spoilers, but there was like some of the cameos, right?
Yeah.
I'm laughing at some of the cameos, or just like the cameos are blowing my mind. My 7-year-old doesn't know anything about the 1967 cartoon, so she doesn't know why that Spider-Man. So this is not a spoiler because it's like one scene. She doesn't know why he can't adjust on the fly. Like he's a static shot, and it's just like I that was so genius.
I
haven't seen Spider-Verse yet. What are you doing? But.
Yeah. So I love when they were saying, get Spider-Man. They're sitting all there like,
me, you, me, who, what, who? Spider-Man? Yeah, yes.
All right, well, that's for another show because I can talk about that all day. I do want to hit these last couple of things that I have starred, and then we can get back to business.
You're right. We're still in the comments.
Yeah, we're still there. 45 minutes later.
We're coming for your record.
Exactly. Thanos is bringing up some very interesting things. It's a two-part, so I'm going to read the whole thing, so just work with me there. He says money is obviously a limiting factor. There's plenty of stuff to see that is also that he has to pass on. But hold on, loading. Space has been an issue for me lately, but since I have been getting more into photography, I'm able to appreciate the toys even if I don't display them regularly. So I've been binding and boxing more. And and this is a big thing for those who do toy photography, because you have, we have like Realm of Toys. We send them something at least once a month, or try to, and like he's got Entertainment Earth, he's got Diamond Select, he's got so many different things he's shooting for. So I can only imagine like his table's like yay high of figures box that he hasn't even touched yet. But that brings up a really good point. Like, even if you don't necessarily have the space for it, as a photographer, you essentially have to find some time somewhere to make that into your like kind of a routine, I guess. So even if it doesn't fit in your collection, like I have my Marvel Legends behind me, I have my wrestling stuff to the side, I still have Valorverse. I got all my G.I. Joe classified. I got my Power Rangers. I got so much stuff that I need to find a home for. And I don't have that.
Well, we were talking about this last week with the with Unboxing Art and Cox Create about how when you're doing toy photography and you have so much stuff, it almost forces you to be a little bit more creative and then start intermingling your stuff. You can only take so many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pictures, but I got some Power Rangers, I got some Turtles. Now they can team up, maybe against the Joker. Who knows? I don't know. So you get to be a little bit more creative because you're like, man, I haven't touched this bin in a while. I haven't touched this figure. I want to take a shot at this. And then you start finding humor or just something new and interesting, and it becomes a new way to interact with all your figures. And again, that's why I love toy photography right there.
I'm not even a toy photographer, but I have one shot. Like I'll get an idea of a shot in my head, and I can never execute them well, so people never see the pictures that I take, just because I look at it and I go, yeah, that looks like garbage, but it's fun for me to do. I have a shot in mind with two figures that just do not fit together, but I even have the caption for it, and it's just like exactly that. It's a funny one, and it's two IPs that do not fit. And maybe I'll get around to doing it one day. I haven't taken the picture, but it's not because I can't. I mean, one figure's over there and one figure's over there. It's just they're not on the same shelf, but they have something in common that would make for a funny picture.
And I want to give a shout out. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but the 13th Prince, he purchased an Alf from us, and then he had the undercover Condor that he got from Valorverse with the action points. And he had Alf in the Hawaiian shirt, and Condor was in the Hawaiian shirt, and they were chilling with the Bratz car. I think he had some other figures in there because he did a few shots. But awesome. Like as soon as he got that Alf, he sent us the pictures, and I was like, dude, that is awesome. And that's the kind of creativity. Like Alf and some Valorverse figure are just hanging out, cruising around, chilling by a Bratz car. Like that's
toys wild. Being fun, right? Like that's what more people need to be doing with their toys. You know what I mean? Like I'll sort of say it and then we'll move on because I don't like talking about it because it's not productive. But like all the negative comments, all the people that are complaining about lines, about like, oh, why didn't they do this? They should do this. This brand sucks. Blah blah blah. Just go play with your toys. You have so many cool toys. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time being unproductive when you could be, having fun with your toys, share them with your kids? Like, toys are fun. Live in that sort of headspace and you won't bother making those comments anymore. That's my opinion. Come at me.
All right,
Come at
chat.
me, guys.
When the show's over, go ahead and just hit all the comments in the chat. Just let them have it.
Yeah, let them have it. We'll wait for the Ed.
The last starred comment that we have, so it's Chad. Wishing
It's
everyone
Chad.
Happy Father's Day.
Who again had an epic show. He goes on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday night, part of TGIS, even though Sonny dropped out on us. But that's fine. Normally you would watch Sonny after us. I don't know, Adam, you go on before Chad, so maybe we can move up TGIS.
Hey, I'm game, man. I do 2 p.m. Pacific, which is 5 p.m. Eastern. You know that if you know how time zones work. I don't have to say that, but that was the slot that sort of worked. That was full disclosure. That was the time slot that my wife allowed me to do a live video.
There you go.
But always check out Articulated Chad, or sorry, it's Chad.
It's
now.
Chad.
It's not Articulated Chad anymore. I'm sorry, Chad. I apologize. I didn't mean to disgrace your name. But check him out every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then he'll be joining us in July for our Quest for PowerCon to talk about some stuff. But if you want to talk G.I. Joe, it's Chad is your guy. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'll shut up now.
No, you're good. Adam says, so there's a like Toy Snobs is a thing.
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a revelation to anybody.
All right, that's all the starred ones. I
Okay.
gotta go back and find stuff.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So we covered a lot about you guys in that session. So that is awesome because it prevents me from having to ask this random, boring, dry question. I want to get into your AWOC shows, but before I do that, I would like to know how you guys even got into YouTube in the first place, because you're both newer, smaller channels. I think both of you have been going a little bit longer than us. But how did you start? Why did you start? Brick, you go first. You've been quiet for a little bit.
Sure. There was some awesome sound effects happening. What was it?
That's the dryer.
Oh, got it. Yeah, so YouTube actually coming up on August 14th will be my anniversary, I guess. And that's a memorable there. That's what that is. Maybe that's one of the sound effects. What's up there, buddy? Look at it. That's a cool Mythic Legions troll, man. That's rad.
it moves and everything.
Yeah, this is one to one scale. But this guy just banged at my door with his little walker. That was what all that noise.
Okay.
But I'll get him back on his walker and point him in the other direction.
Sorry, when you say walker, I think like
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's awesome. Yeah, so August 14th. That's my birthday, and I think again, it goes back to the sort of like lockdown, really, when I like spent way too much on YouTube trying to like look at stuff. I mean, I was doing stuff before then. I was like all up on Toy Galaxy like years ago, just going on this journey with him, going over like all the toy lines, the like whatever comic book characters that I loved, and there was just so much that I didn't know about him, right? Like Dan's like breaking down all these like cool things about Robotech that I had no idea, like some behind the scenes stuff. Like, wow, that's fascinating. There's the whole, Motu Classics director's commentary over on that one guy's channel. And so it's like, yeah, I think I saw all those things. I was participating in them. I was kind of just, on the chat, like, this is awesome. But part of me was always like, man, I'm buying all these toys. Like, there's got to be a way to kind of like justify this habit too and share it, like instead of just being like, oh, those are cool, like, oh, I want you to check out what I've got over here too. There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of my like background of like I was as a kid, high schooler, and then later on in sort of college age doing like zine stuff, punk zine stuff, which actually came up last night. I was showing Adam some pictures of my old zines, and it was like back then it was just like, I'm going to watch these bands. I like these bands. I'm playing in bands, but like, I'd love to like write about them and talk about the things I'm into. I guess I could just make a magazine like, you know, other folks and just do it. That whole like do it yourself thing, I think came a lot from there. It's like, oh, I guess I like music too. Oh, this sounds cool. Hey, let's do a band. Well, all of a sudden I just, you know, I'm in a band. So I'm watching this YouTube stuff. I'm like, this is cool. Yeah, I guess I could just start a YouTube channel. And that's what happened. Started August 14th last year. And it's just, I don't know. I actually don't think a whole lot about it beyond there. I think the only other sort of like big idea that I had was like, I need an outlet. I am kind of I used to do a lot of graphic design stuff, but don't do it that much now. Occasional like freelance gig, but I'm an educator right now. I'm a high school teacher. So that's my main gig. And then, so having an outlet to do like graphics, like this is actually fun for me still. Like Adam said, like, like the editing thing. I am that nerd who will spend a couple hours recording a thing and be like, now what if I edit it? And now what if I add this sound effect or whatever? So that's fun. And I think the last thing is I'm not going to be able to house these guys forever. I wish I could. I don't have a lot of my old toys. Like some of them live in my brother's storage, but like I don't have them and I haven't seen them in a while. And I've gotten used to that idea. I've gotten used to the idea that at some point I'm going to have to sell some of these. They're going to disappear. So if I could just have a way to like document the things I at one point had and enjoyed and let it live forever on the internet, someday I can go back or my kids can go back and go like, oh, what a nerd my dad was. That's great. You know? So that's where I'm at with a YouTube channel.
So I find your start date interesting, and I just literally went back and checked my calendar because I thought that the day that you started your YouTube channel, we might have actually founded Hella Dope, like officially, like put our flag in the ground. It was a week before, but
August 7th.
Yeah, because it was PowerCon weekend, so it was like that Sunday of PowerCon, which was the week before that. And then we didn't start our YouTube channel till like November, but I was like, no way, do we share an anniversary? That's so cute. Anyway, Adam, what about you? How'd you get on this crazy YouTube thing?
I don't know the date. I have no idea. The way that it actually worked for me is I was an admin in a Facebook group, and as a way to sort of engage the group and sort of get sort of community interaction, to get discussion going, to get sort of participation going, I just started doing Facebook Live videos with no idea what I was doing, what I was going to talk about, who was going to sort of pay attention. It was, me and 3 people kind of chatting on Facebook. And then it was sort of more people on Facebook. And then, when I got into Mythic Legions, I started doing it in a Mythic Legions group as Facebook Live as well. And then it was sort of like, okay, well, I'm doing the G.I. Joe stuff and I'm doing the Mythic Legion stuff, but there's other lines that I like. There's other brands that I collect. There's other sort of toy lines that maybe I'm not an admin for a group. Maybe I'm not even in a group for it because, some line, like, I'll be honest, like some lines, I've seen some of the groups and I'm just like, I'm not interested. You guys are nuts. So I just don't really participate, but I still want to talk about certain things, right? Like
name names, coward. Name names.
Well, no, I mean, there's tons of groups, but like there's tons of groups that are so big that they don't need me to kind of foster any sort of community, right? So I'm specifically talking about like Canadian G.I. Joe classified group and a Canadian Mythic Legions group. The Cabal is huge and G.I. Joe groups are massive, but the specific classified only Northern Outpost, a G.I. Joe classified Canadian group was small, and we were sort of trying to grow it, and engaging with people made sense. Mythic Legions in Canada is gaining traction, but you know, we thought, you know, what if we engage with this community and make this something more, you know, make this more of a community, make there more interaction and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know, if we're doing it here, why don't we just sort of cast the net a little bit wider for the audience? Why don't we put it on YouTube, and you know, maybe 3 people become 6 people, maybe 6 people becomes 30. And I'll be perfectly honest, like I have friends that have YouTube channels, and the same thing, you know, that Brick said, like I was watching a ton of YouTube channels, getting an idea of like what I liked, what I didn't like, what formats, you know, seemed fun. And I was talking to people about YouTube channels, and it was sort of like, okay, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. Why not? I thought when I started that, like, if I got 100 subs, that would be like ridiculous. Like that would blow my mind to get 100 subs. And I did that, and I was like, well, what now? Like, what, you know, like, just like Brick, I'm doing it because it's fun and because I'm in a small town. It's not that small, but like I'm pretty removed from sort of the world of collectors, right? I'm in a Western Canadian city that's not close to the big cities. So I'm not seeing these people sort of in person. This was, again, you know, me interacting with the community and trying to like chat with people and just have some fun. And so I genuinely have no, you know, I'd love to get to 1,000 subs. I have no, you know, no full transparency. Like for anybody that doesn't know, you know, once you hit 1,000 subs, you can get monetized. You start getting different functions in your channel.
Time out on that. Time out. We got some news that might benefit you or maybe some of the other people in the chat. So they just changed it last week. So to get monetized, you only need 500.
What?
Now
500 subs and 3,000 viewed hours.
So
I'm over that for hours.
That unlocks the stuff that channels like us need.
Whereas I'm not even paying attention to what YouTube's doing.
So
I'm not either. I saw somebody else talking about it on the stream.
New
Like,
goal.
that's interesting.
500.
So that only unlocks the super chats, the super stickers, and the super thanks. You still need to get to 1,000 for the ads. And I believe it's the 4th. Well, that's exactly what we said. Like,
you know, the weird thing is like the monetization stuff is who cares? Like at the end of the day, I'm not doing this. I have no aspirations to like be a professional YouTuber or to be like any sort of influencer or whatever. I am not a role model, right? Like every athlete says, like I'm not a role model. I don't want,
because the other influencers are role models. Is that where you're going with that?
If anybody thinks they are, I mean, that's weird, but they're not role models to me, I guess they're just normal people that happen to sort of have, you know, more of an audience. That's how I see it. And maybe it'll come up again later, but well, maybe I'll just say it now because I've just said it, but not said it. I'm never starstruck because I just think that like certain people are really good at what they do. And certain things that people do get more sort of notoriety than others, but you're not a better person because you're an athlete or an actor or whatever. You're just good at something that not everybody's good at. I probably have skills that other people don't, but no one's like, wow, you're really good at, you know, putting numbers into a computer or whatever it is. Everybody has their skill set, and that should be enough for people. It's enough for me. But anyway, yeah, the whole aspirations for like what my channel could be or whatever, I don't have that. My channel is what I want it to be. It's fun. I get good guests. I get to talk about cool toys. I get invited on shows like this one, and that's it. You know, like that's the goal. The goal is to have fun. If I'm not having fun, I'll quit. It doesn't matter, you know, what the numbers are or whatever. It genuinely doesn't. I mentioned monetization, but really, like Brick and I were trying to figure out, well, how do I do a live show that leads into the premiere of a video? And we found out that you can only do it once you're like a YouTube affiliate or whatever they call it. And I was like, oh shoot,
Oh,
that's
we did.
one more thing that I want to be able to do. It has
Well-
nothing to do with money. It just has everything to do with like using all the tools in the toolbox to kind of make a cooler product.
Well, since you're not worried about numbers, I'm just gonna pop this up anyway. Some numbers.
Yeah.
Axion has let us know that you're only
go.
150 subs away from that 500 mark. So
That's crazy to me, but it's also crazy. Like, there's so many levels of crazy to me as an introverted guy in kind of middle of nowhere. It's like the fact that anybody cares what I have to say is like, it's just so foreign to me. My kids don't listen to me. My wife doesn't listen to me. So the fact that anybody listens to me is cool and flattering. It's
Which probably explains why you have a YouTube channel, actually.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Somebody listen to me.
if you're not following, Adam or Brick, please show these fine gentlemen some love. Even if it's not about the monetization, the money is not the issue. Just the features that they want to use. Let's get that to them.
We just want to talk to people. You know what I mean? Like, and I think you guys all agree, right? Because I know that you guys don't care about the numbers insofar as what that sort of means to some people, right? Brick and I just want to talk about AWOC, and this gives us a platform for it. You guys just want to talk about toys and talk to other collectors and just have a good time, and this gives us the platform for it.
Yeah, so when we're talking about subbing to both of your channels, like, if anything, both of you are active members of the community. It's not just, oh, hey, go watch their channel. Like, we can go into other channels and find you guys in the chat. I see you guys all the time. I see you everywhere because you're actively participating in the community.
Because I want people to listen to me.
You're still out there putting in and showing love to these other channels too.
Yeah.
And I agree with you guys. Like, the monetization thing for Aaron and I is solely an ego trip, because one, the whole reason we started this show and this channel was just to build awareness to the store. Like, we don't necessarily want or need a super chat. Like, I'd much rather you go buy a figure at 15% off that you can get right now at helladopetoys. That 15% off is going to end at midnight, fellas. You better get on it. I'd much rather somebody go do that. But like, you're right. Like, this is a platform where now we use this as leverage, because now we get the opportunity to talk to people that we think are interesting, right? Like, I got to like, if I'm just some random toy store, what am I gonna do? Talk to you guys on Instagram? Talk to you guys through your live stream chat? No, I got a channel on YouTube. I can bring people in and just ask them all sorts of weird ass questions, which one helps me learn, helps us build our network, and then that's how this whole thing works. So what you guys are doing is absolutely right, especially for the level that you're trying to do it at.
You bring up a good point though too, Ted, in terms of like, the like, or you bring up something that is something that I genuinely care about, and that I think gets lost sometimes. Brick and I are both small channels, but we both really like to try to support other small channels. And it's not about supporting for the sake of supporting. It's anybody that's doing this is working hard at what they're doing. Because it takes time, it takes effort, it takes money. That's the other thing people don't realize on the back end, whether it's StreamYard, whether you're buying a microphone, whether you're upgrading your camera, whatever it is, like, there's costs incurred to some of this, right? If you're doing an unboxing, you had to buy that figure. There's still sort of money being invested on the end of these people. I try to make a point of, it's easy to sort of fall into like a pattern of like, oh, on Sunday I watch the Hella Dope guys, I watch Chad, I watch so on and so forth. On Monday, I watch ABC. On Tuesday, I watch ABC. I like to find other stuff. I like to find other channels. I like to find other small And right now it's easy for me because I just type in Animal Warriors of the Kingdom and I see what comes up,
Mhm.
and I watch the videos, and I like the content. I subscribe to the channel. I comment, and I just think that it's one of those things where none of that costs me anything, right? None of what I just said, like watching a video, liking, subscribing, commenting, none of that costs me as a viewer anything. But I know, as somebody that does videos, that is so appreciated, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it seems like such a small gesture, and it's you can see it as kind of an inconvenience because it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes depending on how long the video is out of your day. But if you do it once a day, like that's it's nothing, right? And it could mean that they get monetized, and there could be a channel out there that you would absolutely love that you just don't know about yet. And so a rising tide floats all boats, right? So spread the love, like go check something out that you've never seen before. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, right? Like whether it's Motu, whether it's AWOC, whether it's G.I. Joe, whether it's Valaverse, just put that in the search bar and try to find a channel that you don't actively watch. You might be surprised. You might be surprised that there's a channel out there that you've never heard of that's just banging out great content.
Yep.
And you might not have heard about them because they've got 87 subs. And so they're just not hitting the algorithms. And, maybe you see it and you go, man, this is really good. Maybe you recommend it to somebody else. Maybe that person recommends it to another person. It's this kind of thing where a little bit goes a long way. And if I can sort of help anybody be successful, I absolutely want to. I don't see any channel as competition. Kato, who is the official Animal Warriors of the podcast channel, he and I, chatted right when he started, and he was like, "We should get you on the channel," and I was like, "You should, be on my channel." Like, let's just keep talking about AWOC. Like, we have different audiences. Maybe we can sort of help each other out. Maybe people will get a different vibe from me than they get from you. Maybe I'll have a different take. Whatever it is. It's again, I go back to this thing all the time. It should be about fun. It should be about enjoying this stuff. It shouldn't be about competing. It shouldn't be about negativity. It shouldn't be about trolling or whatever. If you find that fun, I'm not saying don't do it. Do whatever makes you happy, but it's weird if that makes you happy. To me, that's very foreign. But do your thing.
I want to tack on to what you're saying about finding smaller channels, right?
Mhm.
And going out and searching them, and how you might be surprised. You also might get in on the ground floor of something that blows up, and like it. Not that we have blown up or anything, but we did many of these shows where there was not a chat like zooming through here, and we had one guy, and that was Jim Largo from Largo's Lair, just talking with us one night. Like at the end of the show, it was just us and him, and we were so thrilled. We didn't know who he was or anything. Yep. And he's been hanging with us ever since, and he started his channel, and his channel blew up bigger than our channel because he's out there doing that work too, and he is in that community, supporting that community too. But you never know what kind of gems that you'll find, and then you can always be like, hey, I was there when nobody was in their chat because I was the only guy in their chat, and I think that's really cool that you're out there supporting, people, not the people that need it, but like somebody who gets thrilled, like you just made their day. If you're in their chat is dead, and you're just like, hey guys, what's up? And they're like, oh yeah, so and so's here, and then you're talking with them, and we all have to play it cool while we're on here, like, yeah, we're a pretty big deal. We know what's going on, but after you get off, you run upstairs, you tell your wife, like, somebody was in my chat tonight.
I'll touch on what you were saying also. I mean, for a person like, I streamed on Twitch. That was where I started. I grew my Twitch channel from literally nothing to where it is now, and I haven't done anything on it. But I think one of the cool features that Twitch has that YouTube should think about is a rate function. Because what I always used to do when I ended my streams, I would have 10, 15 people, 20 people in my stream, and I would find whatever game I'm playing. So like if I'm playing Lego Star Wars, I type in Lego Star Wars. I'd find the person that has one person watching or nobody watching, and I would send all my viewers to that person.
Oh, cool.
So now when, like, let's say Adam, it's you that I'm about to send my people to, you're all of a sudden, sitting there in the middle of your game, like I'm just talking because that's the content you got to create. Always be talking, and then all of a sudden, boom, 20 people are now like, "Hey, we're here from wherever I just came from." Like that is a great, feeling to be like, I may not get that again, but I'm going to remember this person who came to my channel, whether it's live or not, and showed some love.
Yeah.
And like Ted said, when I run upstairs, I'm gonna tell my fiance, like, oh my god, I had 20 people. It was amazing.
Exactly what we do. This is how we do it. We're like, hey,
yes. You'll see when the stream ends. We're like, oh my god, we had people today.
Oh, that's nice, honey. That's nice.
You guys have probably
That's
had
good.
it though, right? Where you like there's a channel that you watch, or there's a person that you know of who like is in the chat or whatever, and you end up, whether it's through Facebook or Instagram message or whatever, you end up sort of chatting with this person, and you're like, and they're like, yeah, I love your show, and you're like, I didn't even know you watched my show. Like, what are you like?
Yeah.
You're sort of stooping down to my level to sort of watch what I'm doing, and it's incredibly flattering, and it's just like you said, when you get those videos where like the chat is just like really vibing and like you're just having a really good time, it's almost hard to like cut that stream, because you're like, we're hanging out, we're having a good time, like we don't have anything in particular to talk about, but people are chatting, and everybody's I do genuinely have moments where like I'm like, okay, I need to be somewhere else, like I gotta get somewhere in an hour, and then it's like I gotta be somewhere in 30 minutes, and I'm like, I really gotta go. It's 5 minutes till I gotta be 20 minutes from where I'm sitting right now.
Yep, that was me last week. I was supposed to have met Ted. We was going to talk some business, and I was watching the Xbox Game Showcase, and I'm like, I was so involved in the showcase. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you in 15 minutes. Like, yep, okay, I'm
like,
leaving my house. I still don't have my shoes on. I'm still like laying in bed watching this video. And then I realized, oh crap, I gotta go now. And I still have like my phone clipped, and I'm like listening to it while I'm driving. Like I can't miss the showcase now.
You don't know where your keys even are, so it could be even longer than
No, I totally get all that. It's good stuff.
I wanna pop this up. I'm gonna unstar it. I'm gonna pop this up just because I feel like it's relevant from a punk with toys. He says, if you find a small live stream, get somebody in there with you, and that way you're not the only one commenting. Now you got two people. You just help the community, and you have a friend in there too. Something I've honestly never even thought of. Like
he makes a good point, because I mean, you guys mentioned, and I thought of this too, because you guys mentioned Jim Largo being in your chat, and just being Jim Largo. I've been in chats where like no one else is commenting, and then you're looking at the chat, and you're like, oh, I've got the last 15 comments. Like
right.
It feel like I don't really care, but I wonder if the person is sort of like, this is depressing.
Yeah,
like,
it does get that way after a while.
No one else is engaging.
But you must be heard, Adam. You must be heard.
Well, sometimes sometimes you just want to comment to kind of keep the conversation going.
Yeah,
and it's like you want if somebody to jump on, they see that there's engagement, that there's other people watching, right? Like that's a big thing. A lot of people, a lot of people like to watch, they don't like to get involved. And so they don't, maybe they don't comment, which is fine. But I'm sure you guys have had this too, where you've got a video and, the little eyeball says that you've got, 10 people watching and no one's commenting. And you're like, what's going on? Like, we're trying to engage with you guys. Like, what are we boring, or is this just, people just don't feel like commenting? So I always, hope that people even just say hi. You know what I mean? Like when you jump on, just be like, hey, what's going on? I'm watching. But because
Make
even
sure
then,
you hit the go live button though, because that might be the problem.
Right.
Good
That's very,
point.
very
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
We're
first
learning
things
so
first,
much
make
tonight.
sure you're live.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to get into what I've learned now is 2 separate shows. Teddy did not do his research very well. And then
Oh,
I know
it's
the chat.
confusing.
I know the chat is blowing up. So we'll talk about these 2 shows. We'll hit up the chat, and then we'll kind of see where we're at as we hit the 2-hour mark here. So you both do a show together. You collaborate on 2 separate AWOC shows. One in regards to lore, and then what is the other one? So there's Monkey Business, and then what is the name of the other one?
So in general, like we're doing this whole AWOC talk thing, and so we were trying to figure out. Initially, we just thought, oh, we'll bounce back and forth, and just logistically, it was like confusing or whatever. But at the end of the day, yeah, we're AWOC talk, we're talking. But to do the whole live thing, right? That's how we sort of divvied it up. So over on Brick Something, we're doing these pre-recorded videos because I'm a dork who likes to edit sometimes and throw in visuals or whatever. But and in general, as far as like topic, yeah, right now we're talking about the lore. It doesn't necessarily mean we might not talk about something else eventually, but they're generally the pre-recorded, kind of a little bit more edited pieces. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll move over to Highly Articulated, and we'll do a live stream where, folks can do sort of the back and forth, the interaction. It could be the place where, oh, I just saw you over on Brick Something. We were talking about the lore. I really wanted to talk to you about it. Cool. Let's chat about it. Mm-hmm. In the past, we had Jeremy and his brother come through and talk about the game, right? And so like we'll do live interviews and, yeah. And so that's the basic rundown. It's AWOC Talk, sort of like AWOC Talk Monkey Business, or AWOC Talk Monkey Business, AWOC Talk Live, whatever. So that's the deal. We know it gets confusing, but whatever.
I just thought I was watching the one. Like, that's my bad. Just because, like, I
mean, we've got like
around.
shared graphics and like, no, it's just kind of this. I mean, it's the same 2 people. They're still chilling about the same toy line. It's like, no, it's all good.
And it's not a perfect setup, but it was sort of like the best compromise, because we did the first episode of AWOC Talk and we put it on 2 channels, and I think people just didn't know. They're like, why is it on 2 channels? Like, where do I watch it next time? And so we were like, okay, we got to get some sort of schedule, and we got to get some sort of like format that works. Brick's being very modest. His editing is absolutely fantastic. Like, thanks, man. If you're only going to watch one of the shows, if you're only going to sub to one of the channels to get your AWOC content,
no.
Brick is the one that you want, because his is way glossier and cleaner and way more to the point. Mine is live and sloppy, and but it's super fun.
And he always hits go live, so we're good.
I now have an intro for Monkey Business, because Brick's like, hey, by the way, I made an intro for your videos. And I was like, okay. Like,
branding, it's all about branding.
And it's awesome. Brick did the overlay for that show. He did the background for that show. He's done all the heavy lifting for my show. So I'm just here, to reap the benefits, reap the rewards. But yeah, Brick's got the edited sort of heavy lore based ones. We talk, like, full disclosure, we talk
behind the curtain. Are you getting behind the curtain now?
Yeah. And then it gets cut down to like a 1-hour show, because we go way off tangent. We're like, what about this? Like, what about this IP? What aspect of this IP is in here? Because we'll like bring these things up.
And mind you, this isn't with interruptions of people chatting. This is just the 2 of us.
This is just us.
No, for hours.
I can't believe this. You guys have been quiet all night. It's been like pulling teeth.
Exactly.
3 hours.
We struggle. Yeah, we
on
struggle
something you're passionate about. Wild.
But then the live ones give us sort of the opportunity to expand a little bit more, right? So we again, like we've sort of talked about, like, we want to engage with this community. We want there to be discussion. We want there to be discourse. We want to hear what, species of animal people want to see.
Right.
We want to hear people's takes on the comic book. Like, maybe there's something that we're totally missing. Maybe there's a frame that somebody reads that frame and they're like, whoa, this is important, and we just don't see it. issue 1 is a great example. I didn't realize at the end of issue 1 a very specific thing, and I won't spoil it. You got to go watch the videos. But it wasn't until somebody pointed it out to me. So again, like I said, we're not the experts. We're just the guys that are wasting our lives going deep with this stuff because it's fun. So yeah, we mentioned this too before, but like I think a lot of people kind of think Brick and I have known each other for a long time, that we've been doing this for a long time. We only met because of AWOC. I did a couple videos and he did a couple videos, and I think I commented on his video, and then we just started chatting.
Yep.
And we were like, okay, we want to talk more about this, and we want it to be in a space where we're not even going to bother talking about other toy lines. So that was sort of the impetus for us going, okay, well, what do we want to do? And we wanted to talk about the comic books. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
But then there was sort of like, okay, you want to talk about the comic book, but we also want to talk about the figures. We want to talk to Jason. We want to talk to Jeremy. We want to talk to Utama. We want to talk to Arlen Pelletier. Like,
it's gonna be so cool.
Like, we want to talk to everybody that's ever done anything involved, with AWOC. And so stay tuned, because we're gonna get through it all. We're gonna get through it all. Hopefully we never sort of get to the point where we're like too far ahead that we can't do a video. We're still doing okay as it stands now. And the fact that we're doing, like Brick said, basically every second week you will get an AWOC centric video, either on his channel or on my channel. Yeah. And so hopefully we will sort of keep everybody satiated, but still with an appetite for more.
So I want to make sure I understand the scheduling here. So you're saying every 2
We
weeks
don't understand the schedule.
you have an edited one and then
Good
you
luck,
go
Ted.
live, or are you doing like live 1 week, edited one, and then just flip flopping?
No, it's every 2 weeks. It's every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Let me pull out the calendar.
Yeah. Let's draw a diagram for me.
It's all that having a family thing. So last Sunday today's Sunday, right? Yeah, last Sunday we got together and did Monkey Business Live over on Highly Articulated. 2 weeks from that date, which is next Sunday, you'll get a new edited AWOC talk.
There we go.
In theory, if I get the editing done, then 2 weeks after that, it's live, and the cycle continues because time is a flat circle. So, and you're right, we do talk. I was just thinking about that as you're going on. It's like, no, what we do is we sit and we record for 4 hours, and then I just cut out like about 2 hours of awkward silence, and then we have a fun video.
We're just sitting there staring at each other.
We read the comics together on a stream, but in silence.
Oh, that would be cute. I was just thinking it was Adam refusing to make small talk. He was like, "Nope, not doing it. I'll be quiet until you have something to say."
I'm an introvert with a weird problem of I talk way too much. When I'm engaged, I won't stop.
So we dabbled on this a little bit. We were talking about monetization for the channels, but what are your goals for your channels right now? And is there potential for you to form a separate channel to contain all your AWOC-ness?
Oh.
A duo group. It doesn't necessarily need to be AWOC. I'm just wondering. I mean, you guys are a good tag team, man. Chemistry is right there. That's just. I'm just spitballing.
So cute.
Chemistry. Brick's gonna get off here. He goes, "They said I had chemistry." So what are your goals for your channel?
As far as like goals, honestly, I don't know, because I've kind of been a little bit all over the place. Like, yeah, I did the unboxing stuff. The first couple of things were like these deep dives of like, hey, I want you to check out this figure with me. It's awesome. Check out King Grayskull, right? Look, I put King Grayskull on a dinosaur. Check it out. And then kind of like deep diving into a little bit about the lore. And then I did the same thing, I think, with Skeletor. And I think eventually I got to AWOC. And honestly, just to go back to that real quick, the reason I did it was because I was getting frustrated, like looking for stuff about AWOC as we're waiting for this stuff to come out. And I was like, come on, I want to know more. And so I was like, well, F it, I'll do it. Like, here, let me put this stuff together. And then, that's how we connected. So I think because that's the way I started, that's sort of been like, well, what do I want to talk about right now? And I've kind of created containers. So the unbox something thing is like, oh, let me open up stuff and show you. And people wonder like, what does he review? It's like, basically I review whatever I'm into, or I open up. I don't know, review. I open up whatever one I buy. Two has come here and I want to make sure that I have some documentation of it. And I just kind of want to show folks like, this is cool. And then I've done some stuff called Well Played, where it's like, oh, I'm hanging out with a friend who like wants to either talk about something or do something. So Kayla Silva got her very first Lego set, and it was a huge one. It was like a ridiculous amount. What was that, like $500, $400? It's an obscene amount of money. God bless her. But the Rivendell set. Oh. And she's like, it's my first Lego set ever. You want to like build it? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. It'll be done in like 3 episodes. No. But so we did that, and that became a thing. And then I kind of do these news things sometimes. So it's just like wherever it goes. I have my kind of containers. AWOC Talk is the newest thing. But I think to quote Jeremy J, if it's not a waste of time, if you're enjoying yourself, I'm enjoying myself. So whatever's going to be fun, whatever I think is interesting, I probably should, but don't do a good job of like paying attention to like, oh, this video did really well, or this video didn't do really well. And I kind of don't want to get stuck on that, because I would hate to be like, I'm really into this thing that I don't see enough people talking about in certain circles. Mm-hmm. I would hate to be like, oh, I guess I'm not going to make a video because no one cares. Like, nah, like I want people to know about it. I didn't know if people would respond to AWOC that first time I made that video, and I didn't care. So I did it, and here we are. Right. So,
and one person did.
Yeah, there you go. So like, honestly, I don't really know what the plans are, other than just like keep doing my thing, opening stuff up, collaborating with folks, and having fun.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Kinda. Yeah. I just knew I wanted to like do this thing, have an outlet, and like document this stuff. And suddenly I found out like there's other people who want to do stuff, collaborating, meeting friends. Like, so I don't know. We'll go where we need to go. And shout out to Ray Paz, because I'd never thought of Big Chimpin'. I like that.
I saw that too. That's good. Ray, full disclosure, I will be stealing that for an episode.
Adam, what about
Thane,
you?
The reveal of Thane.
Yeah, what Britt said.
Perfect.
No, you know, what are the goals with the YouTube channel? There aren't any. I mean, I'm doing what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I'm chatting with cool people. I'm meeting cool people. It gives me, like I said, a platform to kind of reach out to people and be like, hey, I got a little YouTube channel. Like, have you ever thought about doing a video? Some of the people, like, you know, when I first reached out to Arlen, I was like, do you want to be on a video? He's like, no one's ever asked me. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what Arlen is doing, like Arlen is a sculptor. He's a 3D sculptor. He sculpts toys. He sculpted a lot of the AWOC stuff. He did Serpentor for Hasbro. I will just finish there. I mean, I think, you know, there's a lot of really cool action figures that Arlen has had a very big part in sculpting, and it's weird that nobody seems to want to talk to these people but me, and so like my goal with the channel is to be able to have conversations with people that I think are cool. Mm-hmm. And I've been very lucky in that I've been able to connect with some people that I think if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would just be another, you know, fanboy reaching out. And I think it's kind of given me a little bit of leverage, I guess, to make friends. So,
that was Ted when we had Tim Clark on, because he was fanboying, but we have a YouTube channel.
Also, I'm really mad at this camera. Somehow I got Aaron's blurry disease over here. Now, I do not know what this is.
Look at all this trash.
Never happened. And then I had a Tony moment. I was like, am I just drunk? Like, with a Viking hat, like
Are my
I'm the only
glasses
blurry
dirty?
one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that. I was just
No, I mean,
confused here.
I mean, the honest truth is, I don't have anything to say to answer that question. I don't have any goals. I'm not. We're just having fun, and
Driftless ne'er-do-wells.
Hey,
yeah,
having
I mean,
fun is a goal.
we're just
For the
kind of
record.
thinking like, what's the next cool thing that we can do? Because we're now doing the AWOC talk. We're now doing monkey business. You know, I'm chatting with people on Sundays. I'm doing unboxing videos
Mhm.
randomly whenever I feel like it, because I don't care if anybody watches them. I don't look at the numbers. I will clarify that and sort of put an asterisk on that. I have one video that is like has no business being as successful as it is. That has like way more views than it should, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. I'm not gonna do anything differently. But I did a video for that Mecha Leo, just as it's a terrible video. It's like a throwaway video from my perspective, because I did it late at night and I was trying to just be quiet and kind of put out this quick little video. And it caught an algorithm or something, right? Like I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know what it did to sort of do what it did. But if I tried to chase that, right? If I tried to duplicate, like I intend to do a Mikey video. I do not anticipate it is going to do well, but because I did one for Leo, I'm going to do one for Mikey, and then when the next one comes out, I'll do one for that one as well, because I want to do them, because they're cool figures and I want people to hear about them.
I've learned in this game that the most successfully viewed videos are the ones that you don't plan.
Mm-hmm.
You just put them out there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you can sit right now tonight when you in here, put together this nice masterpiece video
Mm-hmm.
that you spend hours working on, and it gets nothing. You take a video of you sitting on a toilet in the bathroom talking about this, I'll pick Galactus behind me, and it's like 1 million views because you're sitting on a toilet and they didn't even edit it. I don't get it, but it's the most sense that I've ever made out of it. The best work is the ones you don't plan.
But they're not, like, I'll be honest, that's like I said, that's a throwaway video for me. Like, I don't think I did it. I don't think I made a good video when I made that video. Some of the ones that I really love don't get the same amount of views, but I don't love them any less. I have much more fun with some videos, and I don't care whether they get the views or not. The AWOC videos are the ones that I'm having the most fun with right now, because it's the line that I'm the most passionate about. I think ultimately what my goal is with the YouTube channel is to get to a point where I have, where I kind of am able to illuminate other channels, product lines, people that I think deserve it, right? I have no, like I said, I'm not going to quit my job to be to do a YouTube channel. Like, I have no aspirations for that. I wouldn't want to do it, because then I genuinely, I never want to be like chasing the numbers. I don't.
Does not sound fun.
It just sounds, I would have so much anxiety from that, because it's not how I started. It's not what my intentions were to begin with. And so I'm just not interested. What I am interested in is hanging out with Brick, hanging out with you guys, hanging out with other people, having conversations with people that I respect and that I want to know more about. If other people are interested, that's really cool. If other people aren't interested, I don't care.
Lawrence brings up a good point too. I want to bring that up. He's saying that sometimes in a video people just see your passion for it, and that's why it does well. I mean, if you're like, and you've been saying it since we started the stream, if you're not passionate about it, why do it? Like, passion is what drives you. Like our passion was to put a face behind Hello Dope Toys. Now I want to say we have accomplished that mission, but now we just do this because now we want to do exactly what you said. We want to bring on interesting people who are in the community, who, you know, we want to dig into the questions that, you know, people don't ask you. Like, when was the last time someone said, "Hey, tell me your origin story"?
Yeah.
You know, probably never. But no, some people got a little more in depth about, you know, who you guys are.
I actually
guys.
about it seems like there's been a bit of a shift in a lot of the toy tube channels where a lot more of this kind of thing is happening, right? Like you said, where we just want to talk about, you know, how did you get into this? Why did you get into this? Like, we want to know more about the people sometimes.
Yeah.
About a year ago, I had the idea for a concept for like a show. Like, apart from the Sunday show, I wanted to do a recorded show called Origins and just have conversations with people. But the longer I kind of put it off and the longer I didn't do it, the more I saw people just doing that. And now I'm like, I can't do that now. It's not gonna, it would just look derivative and it would be stupid. So now I'll just do them, but not call them something different. And it'll just be like, you know, the live shows, and I'll have people on because then I have less videos to do as well.
That's why people don't do reviews, because it's derivative. Oh, wait. No, I mean, the thing is, it's like people want to hear you meet with other people. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just think there's so much space. You know what I'm saying? I know. I'm just saying, you know, unbox something. What a brilliant idea.
I mean, maybe people would want me to do reviews, but that would require editing, so it's not going to happen. But the unboxings, like I said, it's just, I got my new toys. I want to unbox them. I say in my videos, it's always more fun to unbox toys with your friends. So it's more about, like, you know, what do you guys think of these figures? Did you guys get these? Did you not? You know, did you pass on them, and why? Yeah. Like, the reviews are out there. If you want to see a review, that's the other thing. You know, it's called open late for two reasons. One, I do them relatively late on the West Coast, so they're very late on the East Coast. And two, I am not even close to the first person to get a figure. So, you know, I've seen reviews before mine have shipped to me. Yeah. And so I'm not even trying to compete with the guys that get their stuff early. So it's open late because it's late in the evening and no one cares about this figure anymore but me, because I just got it.
I mean, and that's honestly, there's people, and I mean, we'll take our example. You know, you can go to any place, Target, Walmart, some stores that are big and bad, some that may be a little nerdy. But
I hate them.
But we've built a loyal fan base where they come to us. You know, for you have people that, man, yeah, they could go watch Shardamus or someone else that has done this review, but you have a channel, you have a base that will wait and watch your review because they value your opinion. And that is something that holds strong for a lot of people who do this. Like I said, you can go anywhere, but we wait and we choose to see you, or we choose to buy from here or there.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of buying, before you finish, speaking of buying.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not a plug or anything like that, but just as an example, because this is a line that I've been buying for a few years now, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about it in terms of the lines the other lines that I collect. But the Gundam Universe figures, you know, this week I'm probably going to open the Shenlong and a Leo, and these figures are super, super fun for me. But that's going to be one where, like, if there's anybody in the chat, I'll be surprised. But I want to open them, and so I may as well open them on video.
I take it,
but they're not for everyone.
I take your mech and I raise you a robot. That you have 39 minutes to take advantage of that 15% off right now.
This show is going to run too long. I was like, maybe I can jump on and grab a couple more AWOC figures. But
you got plenty of time. Just 39 minutes.
Let's be realistic. We're probably still going to be going.
Probably. 7 a.m. is going to come very early, though.
Aaron, am I on a delay?
I don't know,
No.
are you?
Okay, cool. Sorry, things were lagging for me for a second, and I didn't want to have another sunny situation. So I want to hit up the chat, and then I think we'll see where we are, and we can kind of wrap things up. It might go for a minute. I don't know. Let's see what's popping in the chat, because again, we love all the contribution that you guys give to this show. Like, we want you to be a part of it. So just because we're not responding immediately does not mean we don't see you. And we do star comments, and we do always try to get to them. So thank you all for,
Absolutely.
participating and hanging out, even if it's just, saying, hey, friends, with a cheers emoji. We like that too.
Absolutely.
What's popping in the chat?
What we got? We got a couple things from Thanos once again. So what Adam is saying is you can totally go all in on AWOC. Yes.
It's
Yes.
a reasonable line to go all in on. Yeah, sure. I
Confirmed.
like that.
It's Chad. We're gonna actually change our title to our show to this. It's now called Hello Dope TV, now with drier sound effects. Obviously, my fiance is doing laundry right now. It's Sunday, laundry day, and my space is right next to the laundry room. So we'll just
That's
make that
great.
a thing.
Every channel has its thing. You've got the dryer, like Largo's got the rooster. It's all
Right,
good.
exactly. It's funny because, like I said, I try not to watch like the first couple episodes of the show. One, because it's so hard to do. But, like, before I had this room, I was streaming in the kitchen. So like my fiance has all her her stuff in the kitchen. So I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta have my me space.
Nice.
So yeah, ever since I got these things up and unboxed, I'm like, I'm home now. I don't have to be in the kitchen. Even though it was great because snacks were like right next to me. So now I have to like go upstairs and like get something.
That was, I said that, I started doing videos on Facebook Live, and I'm very thankful for that, because I kind of got a feel for, how to set everything up so that it didn't look like absolute trash once I went live on YouTube.
Exactly. We did see Lawrence in here, but once again, Punk with Toys is here. He goes live tomorrow, so make sure you guys are checking him out. Will, another new name in the chat. He says hello.
You guys brought us some people tonight, man. So, like, talking about small channels and whatnot, like, you guys brought your fan base over here tonight, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, hopefully, your fan base becomes our fan base, and we all fans of each other.
Yeah, we just steal humans.
Exactly. Wilhelm, hello, welcome. I saw you in there earlier. I don't know if you're still here now, but either way it goes, welcome.
Hi, Wilhelm.
Let's see, unboxing art once again, especially when Hella Dope is a plastic dealer, so we all get our plastic fix. That's going on a t-shirt, by the way, just so you know. Maybe debuting at PowerCon. We'll see.
It's what we do in the alley while we're chugging the beers. Like, hey, grown man, come here.
Got some plastic. You want some? Oh my God!
You like cats? You like monkeys?
Yeah, I got cats and monkeys with guns. Oh my God! This show's becoming amusing to me now. What we got here? Oh yeah, no, and I'm reasonably not. I mean, just only had like one of these today, so we're good. Star, I just want to be around other creative people who share the same interests. I love getting to chat with you guys on these shows. It's the highlight of my week. Appreciate it, and that's always the goal, just to chat, hang out, take a time away from the real world for a little bit, and just chat with the people who love the things that we do.
Yeah.
What else we got here? So much stuff here.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yes.
There was a lot.
Star's on a run, so I'll go ahead and go through all the ones he has right now. I get my thrills with seeing others who have the same passions for something that I have. Another one is, I'm sorry, my computer is slow today. The first place I remember seeing Brick for the first time was at a Mythic convention, and I first met Adam on Oz's Toys. So glad I connected with you guys.
That's mythic conversations.
But actually, but I wasn't on Mythic like Dare to Dream. That would be great too. It was over probably Legion's class. So I do a thing called Legion's class with Oz and Justin from I'm sorry, Just Shelvit and who else? Masterverse Toy Hunter and Sean Scavarna.
Eldor.
Yeah. So I think that was where we first saw each other, and then.
Unless maybe comments.
It was in the comments. That's right. Yeah, no, I do remember that. That's right.
Also, I never claimed to know that I know how to read good.
Aaron makes a good point. Like I put him in charge of the comments, and he was like, "I don't read good," and I said, "I don't care."
Yep, start butchering people's names. Can't read what they're saying. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's become a thing now.
It's his charm. That's what people like about him.
Charm.
And it's a drinking game, but he doesn't know that.
Motherfucker.
Monkeys have maces too, guys, not just guns.
Star, once again, I'm sensing Adam and Brick tribute figs coming to AWOC soon.
Oh.
No.
Is that
I don't want it.
Is that a no, but is it secretly a yes, and you just can't confirm that right now?
No, I'm it's no secret that I'm petitioning to have certain species and certain kind of characters done. They're not tribute figures by any stretch. They're just cool animals that I want to see.
Awesome. And the last one that I have here currently is Axion. You guys, since you like mini lines, could combine a channel into articulated something that covers everything and would make Ted happy.
Yeah. That's perfect.
I managed to articulate something today. And this is, in fact, an articulated something. Yeah. I like that.
There it is. See? Then we got to get that one monetized, too.
And I want to give one more shout out to Random Diorama.
Yeah.
He was in here. He's a little late today, but that's okay. He was taking a nap. Rad nom nom nom.
That's like
guys... Oh, good.
Go ahead. Well, if you, I think we're about to say that you were saying if you guys don't know Random Diorama, is that what you're
yes.
I was just going to say I love his channel and I love his work. So like I'm kind of in the mode of got the foam ready, trying to make space to do some stuff. But between him and Dazatron Llama? Oh my God,
Dazatron's Diorama Llama.
Thank you.
That's probably wrong too. But
like those folks just like do some amazing stuff.
86 points of articulation, Oilers Workshop. Like there's so many guys doing really great diorama videos. High school creations.
Yep. And I could sit there for hours just sort of looking at that stuff, and then, he's like, okay, good night. And I'm like, good night. And, just been sitting there for hours, forgot to say hi, and was just sort of watching, geeking out on whatever they're doing. So that's good stuff, man.
Hey, Ted.
Especially that sort of Zelda thing that's in his thumbnail.
Hey, Ted, real quick. So I think I understand why we failed to sell a lot of AWOCs at the Columbus Toy Show.
Why is that?
All we had to do was ask these people if they like monkeys.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe we dropped the ball that hard.
Like, do you like monkeys? So they're like, yeah, I love monkeys. Like, bro, I got monkeys and cats.
We are idiots. Man.
Well, PowerCon, here we come.
Hey, I've got a question for you. I know you're the one asking questions. And at one point we were talking about articulated something as a name. Hella dope. I think I asked you once, Ted, right? In a chat. I was like, hey, are you in the Bay? Because I'm here in so I'm in South San Francisco, which is like right next to San Francisco, work in San Francisco. And hella is it's a Bay thing, right? Like folks say hella out here. Mm-hmm. So then I was just like, oh, are you in the Bay? Because I do actually get super excited when I see people online who might be like in this neck of the woods. Same. And then you're like, actually, we're in Ohio. And I was like, oh, so tell me, and you kind of mentioned it then, but I would love to hear. Tell me about the hella dope.
So I mean, I'll give the short version. I was picking up dog poop, and I was because before Aaron and I were together, I needed some sort of name for the toy selling business, and every name that I had sucked. It was really bad. I went through 2 or 3 names. And I was just trying to find something The man with the bag, DarkClaw Toys, and then there was something else dumb. I don't remember what that one is. It only lasted a week. But I wanted to create a website that encapsulated everything like we're talking about that I loved, and then use the things that I loved to try to get people to buy toys that shared that same passion.
Sure.
So I started a website called It's Hella Dope because that was my first thought. I'm like, yeah, it's hella dope, which ultimately stems from Cartman saying hella cool. I think that's what he was saying, right, Aaron? I don't remember. It was 1996. I don't remember.
Yes.
But yeah, it very much stemmed from a Cartman thing. And, Stan's like, stop saying hella.
Nice.
I think it's become universal, and
It has. It totally has. But
Jeremy's in the chat, sitting behind a computer in Wisconsin, saying "you're" when he logs in the videos. So let's be honest. The internet exists now. No one can.
No, it's
one
true.
can
You're right.
claim
You're
sort
right.
of
You're
regional
right.
stuff anymore.
But it was in college, I guess. So I was in Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara. So a bunch of folks from California are going to this university from all over.
Fancy
and it's
boy.
like you hear folks talking, oh, that's hell. I was like, oh, you're from the Bay. Oh, you're from the Bay. Or like, I'll say something like, you're from Southern California. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, you're right. Once the internet dropped, I guess things are ubiquitous. But it's kind of cool. Hella dope toys. I love it. That's hella dope. Yeah,
so
right.
I'm going to share one more thing, and then we'll let you guys plug some stuff, and then we'll probably roll out. But Frank has not shared this yet, Realm of Toys 89 on Instagram. But I don't remember, Aaron, if it was you or Ed or where this came from, but the hella dope mug in a Battle Royal or Royal Rumble. So let's see if this is yep, there it is. So Frank did it. There it is, the hella dope mug in the Royal Rumble, kicking ass, obviously.
Yeah, clearly going to win the title.
This mug is hella dope, and
you know what I want to see now that I've seen that. I'll let you finish, but then I want somebody to do I want sort of somebody to do a picture.
I was just going to say it's a beautiful shot by Frank, and he puts up with our nonsense, so we appreciate. Realm of Toys 89 on Instagram. Man, some of the best shots, especially if you like wrestling. But if you don't like wrestling, man, he does a lot of stuff. One of the best in the business. And we really, really appreciate him taking this shot. We're going to, I was waiting for him to share it first, but if he's not going to share it on his, we're going to share it on ours. But I told him I would share it on the show for sure.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the depth of field too, and it's kind of just there in the middle and like the background. It's cool.
Oh yeah,
he crushed it on that one. But what would you guys like to promote? What do you got?
I would like to promote the idea that I want to see a hella dope mug above a ladder.
That's how they get broken.
But in a shot, in a shot.
Okay, in a shot.
Like in a wrestling shot, like a ladder match where the hella dope mug is what they're trying to get.
Actually, that is a good idea for
the hella dope idea
that we have.
I mean, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is coming up, and we do have a wrestling show.
We got to be careful with these because Jeremy broke his within like 5 minutes.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Did you send an orange sheet with it?
That's where I went wrong.
That's what it was.
So again, what do you guys got going on? What do you want to tell the people about? Where can they find you? When should they watch you?
Sure.
We know why they should watch you.
Do we though?
Do we? Should they?
So I'm on Instagram at brick.something. Sometimes things pop up there. I'm hoping to take a little bit more photos and of these figures and throw them up there and do a little bit more of my cards. I was for a while doing the old like Marvel trading cards and throwing some like modern figs in them. And then the next sort of Brick Something YouTube channel thing, which you can get to at bricksomething.com. It'll take you right to the channel. Will be the AWOC thing is scheduled for 2 weeks, but I'm hoping to do a little bit of a news thing soon. Again, I'm on summer break, so I'm hoping to unbox some stuff. So I suspect that this will be, if you're not familiar, I keep holding it up. A lot of folks have no idea what the hell this is, and that's fine. Let's figure it out together. It's called Astrobots. I pre-ordered this thing while I was on a trip to New York, and I was just like looking at stuff like, oh, that's great. I want it. And it was sitting for the longest time, finally showed up, finally shipped. And so I have that and this other cool piece that goes around it. Definitely different for the stuff that's on my shelf. So that makes it more fun. So look out for that and just some random things. Maybe like, subscribe to the channel, and I usually will like do the community tab and let folks know what's coming. So
awesome.
That's about it.
Adam, what you got?
I'll probably have some random unboxing videos midweek.
Gunpla.
No Gunpla.
Oh.
Because that's the kits. So I don't subject people to me building kits because that would be even more boring than me building a Lego set. I did that once, and I was like, "This is terrible content. I'm never doing this again."
I did that on my Twitch channel once. I'm like, I'm just bored and need something to do because Twitch.
I was bored.
They sent me a message like, "Hey, if you don't post something soon, we're gonna demonetize." Like, well, good. I don't want to do it anyway.
You're like, I'll just do something.
I'll build this Ghostbuster car that I've been trying to build.
Oh, that was a good one.
It was. I really enjoyed it.
No, I'm doing. I'll do a couple unboxing videos throughout the week, but Sundays is the big day for me. Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific. That's when I do my regular scheduled show. I just call it Highly Articulated. But I've got some really, really cool guests, in my opinion, in my estimation, coming up. I've got to check the calendar because I can't remember the dates, just to not get the numbers wrong. On the 25th, which is next week, I have got Jay from Geek Dad Life.
Wow.
The following week, July 2nd, I have Dom from Toy Domination and possibly Joe from Toy Domination as well. On the 9th, Brick and I are scheduled to do Monkey Business again. That's probably the most fun one I'm going to have.
Perhaps live from Hawaii.
Brick will be live from Hawaii. He'll be in an actual gorilla type jungle. On the 16th, I've got Chris from the Full Force podcast. On the 23rd, Mr. Wonderful from Hex Stacks himself. So I've got so much fun stuff coming up, and I'm really unapologetically will say this. This is like the most exciting kind of stretch of videos that I've got ever. Like I'm more excited now than I've ever been about what I've got coming up. I finally started scheduling things, which is why I've been able to sort of get guests that are better than, me just ranting for an hour, because I'm like, hey, here's the dates that I have open. I've just figured out that if I actually schedule things and don't ask people on Friday afternoon, they're much more likely to agree to do it.
Real quick, I heard you were also doing something tomorrow with Jeremy J. Joe's Talking Joe's.
Oh, that's Jeremy and Chad's show. Yeah,
I only read
totally
half
separate.
of it.
That was Jeremy just getting his shit.
Oh, let's get this off screen then.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't hop back into the stream and be like, "Well, guys, this is what I'd like to promote."
Those guys are great. Those guys are hella dope.
No, but definitely watch Jeremy and Chad tomorrow,
And Chad,
Monday
yeah.
nights.
See, this is that I can't read thing.
Yeah, it's bi-weekly show where they talk about military and military toys and compare them.
Analyzing GI Joes.
Yeah,
they know what they're talking about. That's the thing. Like I defer to guys like that when it comes to the military stuff, because I have no business talking about any of it.
Same.
Yep.
I'm like, Joes are cool. They're like,
I had it with a gun that went bang bang.
They're like, here's the model of the weapon, and I'm like, oh, okay. They could be completely blowing smoke up my ass, and I'd be like, I believe that that's true.
Yes. All right. What you got, man?
Me?
Yeah, you.
So on Tuesday night, we will be on the Overgrown Third Graders podcast. You can catch that live on YouTube, but it does air on plethora of platforms. I can't even begin to tell you how many because I have no clue. I watch them on YouTube. But we will be on there live Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like when we do this show. So catch us Tuesday on that channel. Go subscribe to that channel as well. Aside from that, I'm Ted DarkClaw on Instagram. We run helladopetoys.com. Subscribe to both of these gentlemen below me. Ed has put up the links in the chat, and the links are also in the description for their YouTube channels as well as their Instagrams. We have a sale going on. Next week, no guests. It's just
19.
Aaron and I. What's that?
19 more minutes.
19 more minutes, yes.
Next week, it's just Aaron and I, and we're going to be talking about the state of the toy store, and then we go into our quest for PowerCon in July. That's all I got. Aaron, what you got?
Man, I mean, they already hit it. 18 minutes. 18 minutes to get this awesome record right here from RoboForce. 15% off. 18 more minutes.
Yeah,
but you can catch me on all the socials. I run the Twitter at helladopetoys. You can catch me at Blacknight Gaming on all of the other ones. I also put up all the cool stuff you see on helladopetoys.com. So, that's what I do. But yeah, we'll see you guys Tuesday. And then, like I said, next Sunday, me and Ted will fill you in on the state of Hella Dope Toys. One last thing I do want to mention, we've got a lot of stuff coming in this week. So anybody that has partial orders for the Valibers SDS, get those payments in so we can get those shipped out to you ASAP.
Hey, I did forget there is no mail tomorrow because of Juneteenth. So because of Father's Day and the fact that it didn't matter, I did not pack any orders today. So any orders that came in today will get packed and shipped tomorrow, but they're not going to go anywhere till Tuesday. So
I might have made a liar out of you on my show today too.
Yeah, it's all right. I heard it. I was just like, it's too late. It's out there. it's done. He's like, he's got all the AWOCs in. It'll ship out tomorrow. And I'm like, no.
We get a shipping notification tomorrow.
Yeah, no, we appreciate the plug. Anytime anybody says anything about Hella Dope Toys, we appreciate it. And that's all we got, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you all.
Thanks for having us, man.
Next week, and subscribe to these guys.
Yes. Appreciate the opportunity.